What up, homies? It's your boy Stev. These are my friends. Kiwi Productions, cinematographer, filmmaker Derrick Glenn.
Hello. It's good to be here.
Kiwi Productions, actress, graphic designer Ashley Candace.
Hi.
We got a special one for you today. Top 23 of 23.
What does that mean?
You know, it's like top 23 of like 2023.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
So I know what you're thinking. Are we going to do 24 of 24? Yes, we are. Next year is 24 of 24.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. And then 25
of 25 until, and then
oh my.
60 of 2060. We're going to keep going. This is an annual thing. This ain't never stop.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. So that's it. We'll get it. That's it.
Cool. Cool. I'm thinking maybe somebody clap so we can sync these together.
Okay, ready?
At the same time or separate?
Just going to do one clap.
It had to be that loud?
Yes.
Perfect. It's good so we can sync it.
Yeah. You'll see the level. You'll see it'll be really
You
loud.
just collapsed for the whole world.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut my hand.
You
Sorry,
waited your whole life for that.
I wait a lot.
So
I was
one
born to
day,
do this.
Steven's going to ask me to clap.
He practices in the mirror and shit. He's like, all right, yeah, one day this is coming. But it hasn't come in a couple of years. He's like, what the fuck is this coming? He starts doubting himself. He's like, am I going to be able to do it?
That's funny.
He starts dreaming of it. No, I'm sorry. I'm taking it too far. All right, so.
I clap every day. I sing the kids to bed. We do clapping songs. I clap
Oh,
really
so
loud.
you're a clapping pro.
Stop.
Yeah, I clap a lot.
That's so cute.
So I was excited when I first started setting this up. I'm like, oh, it's so perfect. 888. It's going to be amazing. 24. And finally, my wife's like, you do realize you're talking about 2023, right? I was like, oh, fuck.
So you got the shaft. I'm sorry. You only had 7?
I'm
Is
all
that-
good.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
One thing you'll learn
To be fair, I only really liked 7 of them.
Oh, okay, good.
It
And then
actually
that's
worked
fine.
out. There was an 8 if I had to, and then he took it instead. There is an 8 that I was like, it's on my list until last night. And then I'm like, oh, yeah,
I threw it on.
that's
I'm a
gone.
big fan of it. So yeah, if there's one thing you'll learn about Ashley is she doesn't really
I don't like movies.
What?
I don't like a lot of movies.
That's
You'll hear.
She likes to watch movies and she likes to talk about movies, but she really doesn't like them.
You'll hear what I mean.
She's very salty.
There's one movie
yeah,
here that
yeah.
I'm just gonna rip apart.
She's very
Oh my
sassy.
goodness. Oh my goodness. She's wearing glasses and a scarf. Just so everyone doesn't know. That's
Oh my gosh, I am not. Stop. Anna Wintour with the bob.
In another podcast, I'll ask you what your favorite movie is, and we can talk about it, like in a different year, like your favoriteest movie, one that you don't
It'll
like,
blow
but
your
don't
fucking
not
mind.
like.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Oh, mine is gonna throw you off. It was like 12 Angry Men, something really random.
Yeah, she likes the weirdest fucking movies.
Yeah.
Like movies that you
The
never
Good,
see
the
coming.
Bad, and the Ugly. That's a great movie. There Will Be Blood. That was an excellent movie.
Like, where does that shit
Well, those
12 Angry Men had me going like, oh, there was a train. You were right. Oh my God. Like, I was so invested.
There are 2 knives?
Like, what? Like, I was so invested in that
That
movie.
movie's fucking awesome. It's
Anyways, continue.
true. So the way we're gonna do it is we're not gonna rank them. It's not gonna. This isn't the top 23 movies. Well, it is, but we're not doing from 23 to 1. We're just gonna.
in no particular
It's
order.
no particular order. 23 movies. We're just chatting.
Okay.
The only question I have is how spoilery do you guys want to get? Or do you want to do a movie by movie? You see what I'm saying? Do you want to keep it pretty like non-spoilery, or do you want to get into it?
I
How
don't
about
think we
How about this?
can.
I think what matters is if there's overlap between us. So like,
Okay.
let's say if I'm the only one who saw one of the movies, and to spare you guys, because I kind of want to sell it to you, but I don't want to spoil it to
That's
you.
a good point.
But if we all saw it, then I think spoilers are allowed with a warning to the listeners who maybe haven't seen it or whatever, if they care. Like, right,
First
like,
off,
that's it.
I don't care about spoilers at all, so you can spoil
Yeah,
it for
some
me.
people are sensitive though,
Personally,
so it's I don't know.
I personally think don't watch it if you didn't watch the movies. That's my opinion.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's my
fair.
opinion.
Yeah.
In the description, I will include the list of movies. If you haven't seen any of them,
Make sure you watch
be
them.
warned. You might get spoiled.
Yeah.
One
Okay.
movie that is not on either list, but it's possible that it's a really good movie. None of us had seen it. Was American Fiction.
Yeah, hopefully
It's nominated
yeah.
for Best Picture.
Yeah, hopefully soon though. I want to catch that one. It's not that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did watch the trailer. I know what it is, and I don't watch trailers. By the way, you don't know that yet. I don't look at anything. I go in blind to any movie. The only thing I had was that you said Zac Efron was in one of the movies. And I did not know that. And I was like, oh, you spoiled that. I had no idea.
Oh, I see. You're like really blind.
Oh, I don't look at anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
so...
Sometimes that's better. I think the more you get, the more it helps you.
Oh,
like
what
the
about
more
Poor Little Things? Yeah, that was great. I went in that blind. That was
so
awesome.
blind.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about that.
What a fucking movie to go in blind.
You know what? Hey, let's start off. Poor Things is on the list.
Yeah.
Poor Dylan. He doesn't watch movies. We bring him to the movie theater. He agrees, first off, which is weird. And he's sitting there, and finally he goes, what the fuck are we watching?
No.
I'm like,
Precisely.
bro, I have no idea.
Poor Things, more like porn things. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, and that movie was so weird.
Yeah, I think, here's the thing. I'm going to say right now, I say this in respect to Emma Stone, I hope she gets the Oscar. And I hope it's shaped like a giant, like, dick.
Stop.
Like, that's like a giant gold.
You're
it's
so
like,
annoying.
Yeah, and you can call him Oscar, you can call it whatever. But she earned that Oscar. She knows how to take it, or at least pretend to how to take it, or whatever. I struggle with this movie. I think it's really beautiful. I think it's really pretty. But it's because there's a lot of dark, Frankenstein-y like stuff going on in it, which I think is good. But it has this weird like sexual like
Undertone.
like exploration of like women and like her power and stuff like that. And it's a movie about power, I think, more than it is about love, and that's interesting to me. But I saw this movie, I liked parts of it, but I didn't love it the way I think a lot of people have been receptive to it. Like, and I take it from you guys, you really liked it.
So I was on my list, obviously. Ashley was not a fan. So
okay, good. So we're on the same. Yeah, okay.
Literally, I just texted her because I texted you too. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to see Poor Things. If you want to come." And then you backed out, and then she was like, "You know what? Yeah, I'll come."
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we were driving up to it was her and her boyfriend, which I was like, "Oh, interesting."
Good.
He does not watch movies.
Oh no,
he's
then,
not a movie person.
And then she's like, "So I don't even know what this movie is. Like, what is it?" And I was like, "Oh no, like
This is not a movie to go in blind." Well, first he goes, yeah, do you want to go to the movies? There's a bunch of us going. And I'm like, yeah, Dylan, you want to go? And then I find out it's just us three. I'm like, this is so random. Dylan doesn't care. He's like, he's chilling. He's easy, right? He has a beer. He's cool. Until, there was a specific part where he was like, what the fuck are we watching? I'm like, I don't know.
We've all seen it, so like I'm okay. I guess if we want to.
There's a scene early on when she's like still in her infant stage, and she like goes to the dead body and she starts like playing with the cock, and then she starts stabbing it in the face, and Ashley says out loud, "Steven, what the fuck are we watching right now?" Because like by that, we were about 20 minutes into the movie, and she's like,
it's
seriously.
early too.
But the bubble was already there, and I'm like, what on earth? Yeah, that was not a movie to go in blind for.
I don't know. I think it was hard not to go in blind to that one because I feel like there was a little bit for me that like I knew kind of going in that she's like full frontal in it. Like that's like I feel like in an actress's career, that's like a step, like that's a milestone, if
Which
you will.
Which is not like her at all.
Yeah, no, but like even I think okay, like look, besides the sex, I think there's times where I didn't recognize her as like the sweetheart that is Emma Stone normally. Like this girl is actually like a creature within a creature figuring out how dangerous the world is around her, and it's actually pretty dangerous. Like the other people around her are dangerous, so she kind of needs to be dangerous, and I kind of like that angle, especially by the end. She's like, it's kind of like the end of the movie is like the ultimate feminist, like I think a dream or fairy tale ending dream where like you kind of have a husband, but he's like interchangeable, like an accessory. You are in charge of your dad's like company, right, or whatever. You're like a business like girl boss. Like you have a whole bunch of people around you, and you kind of fucked your way to the top, right? Like or whatever. Like no offense, but like you're at the top. You have everything that power like gets you. But it doesn't get you love. And I think for me, a good movie needs to have love. And I think on purpose, Yorgos Lanthimos' movies are, I think on purpose, he has love like removed. And like you kind of see how things like unfold without like proper like structure.
Definitely.
And like the structure that's there is like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? What's happening? Right? Like there's moments in all of his movies where you're like, what am I witnessing right now? Like that's what he does, I think, really well. And especially in this movie, there's like an old timey like retro vibe that like it's really well done. I think this movie's production design.
Definitely
amazing.
Victorian,
It's
right?
amazing.
Yeah, right.
Definitely.
Yeah. And
that.
even like some of the buildings, dude, like when she goes to the brothel, like there's a large window in the shape of a penis.
I didn't
Like
know
in the
I didn't
brothel,
even
and there's a
notice
couple of
that.
them, and I'm like, dude, that is some next level. Like, yeah, we want a 20-foot dick window, 2 of them side by side on either, like whatever. It's like that kind of stuff. That's like a lot of money. Like, and that's
Being
a lot of production
prop
design.
designer for that,
Bro.
making that glass
Yeah,
window. Like,
imagine-
this
yeah.
is my
Yeah.
job.
So like I don't know. I like there was things in the movie that even like while the movie's like I'm watching the movie, I'm getting bits from like other art departments and other things that I'm. It was a lot of fun to watch, but I think overall I don't like the message of it, and it actually even though I watched it, I don't actually have it on my list as like where I rank it yet or whatever. Not that that really matters for this, but like I watched it, but I can't say I enjoyed it or I'll ever go back to it.
So here's the thing. So I'm a big fan of the director, like we talked about a little bit. I loved The Favorite. I was of the opinion that The Favorite should have won Best Picture a couple years ago. It was my favorite movie that year. I loved it. So when I heard he was doing another movie with Emma Stone, I was excited. I was looking forward to it. Like, this is going to be the movie of the year. It's not. It's definitely. It's not even in my top 8. It's actually 10 or 11.
Yeah,
It just so
yeah,
happens that. But it was the bottom of the list.
I think no, like don't get me wrong. There's like I know why too. Like there's a lot going for it, but it's just ultimately it feels lacking. And I'm gonna say it lacks love, dude. And it's not that they didn't put love into that movie because Dick Windows. Are you kidding me? That is craftsmanship at its finest. And like Barbie, watch out. Like for production design, like watch out, dude. Like that's it. Well, they'll probably get it, but okay.
They haven't done the Oscars yet?
This
No.
Sunday.
When
Which is
is
why
it?
we're doing this today.
When is it?
This
Sunday.
Sunday.
It's Sunday. Oh my goodness! I don't even know what we got planned Sunday. I don't think I can.
I think I'm off
Yeah.
Sunday. I might be off Sunday.
I don't know if I can make it. Oh, that's okay. We'll see. I have a Nerf war to do. That's besides the point.
Because you said that this is like one of the most nominated movies of the year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is there one? Does it have a lot of nominations?
Yeah.
I forget.
It was like
It was like almost everything.
it was like 11 nominations or something.
Yeah,
I wanna say just the
this
most
is
nominated.
Oppenheimer.
I think actually, you know what? The fucking montage maybe deserves an editing like award. I'm just kidding, but she's like when she's going through a lot of them or whatever. Like there's some good editing tricks in it. I like, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's it.
All right, moving on.
Okay.
Next movie, Killers of
By
the...
the way, I wasn't a fan.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
You
we
didn't
got
like-
that.
No, wait. Okay, yeah. Was there anything you liked about
Yeah,
it? Was there
that's a good
anything
question.
like talk positively about that? The porn things. I mean,
You are definitely right about the cinematography, like the whole idea that it was different. Like I will never forget that movie. So that's
good.
That's step one, right?
Okay.
So like every time I see Emma Stone, I'm just gonna remember, or like Mark
gonna see her
Ruffalo
naked.
or whatever, right? Like I just automatically, I'm like, oh fuck that movie, right? So I will say that honestly, I will say that the whole twist, the fact that she died and he like that was really cool. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. But other than that, I'm just not a fan of the movie. I didn't like just anything really. It just isn't.
Okay.
It's not my type of movie.
That's okay.
That's all.
Moving on. Killers of the Flower Moon.
oh, yeah.
Did you see it?
I did not.
We
Okay,
did.
yeah.
We went saw it theaters together.
Yeah, we
actually.
saw it together. Yeah, and I've saw it again, or I saw it before. I forget. I saw it twice in the theaters. And
Okay, you saw it before me.
I did. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. But I liked it, and I liked it so much I probably would sit through it again. Like, and I mean sit through it because it's like 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
almost 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, and like yeah,
it's a long
and
one.
right. But like,
Jesus.
okay, here's the thing though. Like, The Irishman was 3.5 hours, and
But I didn't
that
like
was
The
a
Irishman.
slog. That was a slog.
I
dude.
didn't like that movie,
Yeah.
so let's be honest here.
This movie is maybe similar runtime, and I went and saw it again. Right, like there's a difference between the two of them, and it's like even though yes, there's gangster overtones, this is kind of a different way of exploring like the gangster, like through Scorsese and working with like the Indians and like this story that is. It's kind of like their story.
So I did watch the trailer for this.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Okay,
Where
yeah.
she like marries him and then
So what it's about?
Yeah.
Okay, it's actually based on a true story too.
Yeah.
So watching this and knowing that's based on a true story is like,
Yeah.
holy fucking shit. The
Yeah.
fact that this happened in real life is crazy.
Yeah.
What it's about is this tribe of indigenous tribe, the Osage County. I'm not really sure what they're Osage.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Anyway,
I think that's right. Uh-oh. Yeah.
so they got this property from the government. And because the government was like, there's nothing there, you could fucking have it kind of thing. Well, it turns out there's a lot of oil in
Yeah.
it. And they all become some of the wealthiest people in the country.
Yeah.
So they're all walking around with like 3-piece suits and shit. All of their like butlers and their maids are white people, and like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a complete reverse of like what you'd think, right? So what it's about is this guy who comes up with this idea to get his sons and friends to marry like native women,
Yeah.
and then like
Kill them
systematically
off.
kill them
Yeah,
off to
yeah.
get the money. So it's like, and like, without spoiling much, it's very successful.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, holy fucking shit, how successful it is.
Yeah, and
It's fucked up.
Yeah, you get to see a lot of gangster shenanigans like in it, and like it is from a perspective of like the kind of like the evil men, like kind of working their way into like the society of like women, but you get like their like angle as well too. So you're seeing kind of both sides of the story. You kind of see who's evil and who's like the victim from all this stuff, and things slowly get out of hand and things kind of ramp up a little bit. Like crimes start amplifying, and things start to get too hot.
Yeah.
And attention gets brought down, like higher attention and stuff. There's other things too. Like I think, okay, so there's a point where, and like what happens, the events from this story that happen go on to eventually create the FBI, like the Bureau of Investigations in this movie, but they're the Bureau of they're not the federal yet. So like you have, at some point, you have justice come to like spank the bum of like the evil people. So like, even though it's like it's a lot of evil and it's a lot of like sadness, there is also justice for this
that
evil.
came out of
Yeah.
it, which is
So,
really good.
Yeah, and that's what I really liked about it. I think overall, like it's a story where like people thought they could get away with something that's super evil.
Well, they were powerful white men, of course.
Right.
They
Yeah.
thought
Right,
so,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, and
Straight white men, you know.
that's it. Yeah.
like-
And I get that angle too. Like I get that there's that thing, but I see that like there's no matter what, there will always be evil, and I think that people like money, like if there's too much of it, it like creates like a greed, or it creates like wolves come out or whatever, right? And that's
Absolutely.
so I don't know. I think you're right though. Like it's the evil white man story a little bit, and I think maybe that's kind of. I think that's trendy right now,
100%.
which is fine. But like, if it actually is true, like that's some evil stuff that needs to be out there and stuff. And I think, I really think, here's the thing, it's a bummer that Leo maybe didn't get nominated, but I honestly think the more I thought about it, the character Jesse Plemons plays, and like the character that Leo plays, there was talk of them having like the different roles, like they were going to reverse them.
So the original script was from the FBI's perspective.
Yeah, okay.
And Scorsese wanted Leonardo DiCaprio to play the FBI agent.
Oh, like
Have him be the
solving
main
it,
character.
Yeah.
But Leo was like, no, I like this guy better, even
Yeah.
though he's an absolute piece of shit.
Yeah.
This character.
Yeah, but he crushed Django Unchained, so he has that.
He's
It's
a
true.
good
Oh, no,
actor.
he's a great actor.
He's a
Yeah.
good actor. Here's my thing is, I think I like the perspective it's from, but I think Jesse Plemons should have been him. Like this, and that's it too. It's like that's my thing is like, and we're gonna go into the weeds here with that or whatever. But like, I think there's a reason he's not nominated this year. Not that he didn't give a good performance, because I think he did a really good performance. But De Niro, I think, gave a better one. And like, I think he got nominated. So it's like, I like, either way, both of them are really on fire in this movie. And like, even though they're evil, they're very interesting to watch. But it's not just them. It's like, I forget that Lily Gladstone, I think.
She did.
She was good. I think the fact that she's nominated is kind of surprising to me. Like, I'm going to just say, like, she did a good job, but I feel like she gave a minimal performance.
Oh, I thought she was really good.
Yeah. Like, she did okay. Like, she did really good. But like, I think, like, it's good she's nominated. I don't know if it's going to be her though. And is it Best Actress or is it Best
I
Supporting?
think Best Actress.
Oh yeah.
I think she's against Emma Stone.
I think
I think she would win if it wasn't for Emma Stone.
Yeah,
She still might.
that's
Who
okay.
knows?
That's here's the thing. I think she did a good job, and like you have to watch it, like see for yourself
It's
or
good.
whatever. But overall, really good movie, and it's one I would watch again.
What do you think?
It was on my list. It was definitely in my top 8, but you took it first, so that's
Yeah.
why. So I'm like,
That's good.
I liked it. It wasn't. It was maybe top 5. It wasn't
Okay.
like top of the list, but I really liked it. I thought it was good.
It's kind of, for me, I expect more movies to be made like this.
Yeah.
I'm actually, this year there's a couple of movies where I'm like, okay, that's how you do it.
100%.
Because there's a lot of movies that have gotten made recently. I'm not happy. It's content more than it is cinema or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want content. Like,
Okay.
Killers of the Flower Moon is cinema, if you will.
Okay.
No, I agree 100%. Moving on.
Pause.
Go ahead.
I have to go lock my car.
Oh, okay.
Lock your car.
I don't remember locking it, and my car just got broken into recently.
Oh no!
So now, like,
yeah.
I'm out.
See, that's
Did
it.
you see the Holdovers?
No.
Okay. Did you?
Oh, actually, you saw the
did?
Holdovers?
Okay. Did you see Sisu?
No.
Did you see Sisu?
I didn't finish it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
No. Okay. I was talking about Sisu a little bit.
Okay. I got to where he met the girls chained to the tanks, and like kind of tried to walk past them, but like ended up encountering the Germans.
Yeah,
He wanted to avoid them, but they made it like a thing, and then he had to go like make it a thing. I liked everything before it. I really liked him like just camping and watching the planes fly over, him finding the gold. I thought it was really good. I just passed out on it, and I just never picked it back up again. I don't know. I wanted to I saw it when I saw the trailer for it. I'm like, man, this looks like a movie Tarantino wish he could do, or something like that. And I'm like, not that he couldn't, but when I'm watching it as it's going, there's a point where I'm like, okay, this is good, but whether it was just late at night, I've fallen asleep on it. No offense to the movie, I want to finish it. It wasn't bad. I didn't finish it, so it's like it looked like it was getting good, and I was just. Okay. I don't know. What you tell me?
I loved this fucking movie. This was number 3 on my list of the year. I thought it was it. So with the Killers of the Flower Moon, you said that this is just cinema. I don't know why. To me, I'm like, this is just B movie popcorn fucking cinema. I watched this movie at midnight with a fucking drink, half in the bag, and I'm like, this movie's fucking awesome. Yeah. I loved every second of it, and it's just. And it's not even like a smart movie. There's nothing like really smart about it. It's like, but here's the thing. It almost reminds me of like Mad Max Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road, super simple. Yeah, it's they go to one place and they come back. There's really nothing crazy about it.
Yeah, okay.
This is the same fucking thing. He has to get from point A to point B, and there's a bunch of fucking Nazis in the middle. And I love it. I thought it was amazing. I love the fact that like, he's like this legendary, like, oh, this is the guy that they send out when they want to kill like people. It's like, oh, I love it. Like there's just like a mythology behind him. And I thought it was fun. I thought you could make sequels to this shit. I fucking loved it. And you didn't see the ending? Well, no, even like the last, like just the last moment of the movie is fantastic.
Okay, I do plan to pick it up, and I think maybe I don't want to like talk you a little bit, but like you said it, and I think you're right. It felt a little bit like, okay, this is setting up to be John Wick in like a different era. And that being said, I like John Wick.
Yeah.
I don't like John Wick the franchise.
So let's really.
Yeah, I don't like John Wick. Yeah, I know a lot of people do. I think what's good about John Wick is maybe it's in the first movie a little bit, but I'm shocked that they made as many as they have without just turning it into a video game already. But like that's it. So it's like Sisu felt like it was gonna be that, like it was just gonna be like the Revenge Rampage tour, and
honest.
It's like it's
fucking John Wick killing Nazis. Yeah, I'm into it. It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So
I did watch the trailer, and they said this is going to be the most talked about Nazi movie ever or whatever. And I was like, how disrespectful to Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards
you
is masterpiece.
asshole.
So.
That movie is like top tier.
And maybe that's it too, is like I believe the hype with the trailer. And then when I was watching it, I'm like, okay, waiting for it. And then I just passed out before I could get any of the glorious action you speak of. So it's like I'm gonna give it another chance. I did like it, like from what I saw. So it's like it's not like it wasn't bad. But.
Next movie on the list. This is a movie that you two saw. I did not.
Oh, good.
The Iron Claw.
Oh my goodness!
Didn't watch it?
I didn't.
You told
I
me
was
to
gonna
watch
it.
He told me to watch it.
Did you tell her to watch it based on what I said?
Yes!
Okay, yeah.
Well, because I was gonna watch it. Yeah. I instead threw on Napoleon.
Oh my goodness! Good
what
for you.
Fucking
good
mistake.
for you. I'm
not
glad
on
that's.
The list.
Yeah, I figured. I'm glad. Is that on the list? It better not be. Yeah,
I chose Iron Claw over Napoleon.
No.
Good.
We almost watched Napoleon together. Yeah. I accidentally. Nothing. Never mind.
I didn't really like Napoleon. I thought it was all right. The whole movie, I was just like. So this is technically movie 24 because this isn't on the list.
Okay.
But like, the whole time I was thinking, I couldn't make a movie this serious. It's like I'd have to add humor to this. It's too fucking dry. But that's just me.
But I don't know much about Napoleon, so I was actually really excited. And then you told me Iron Claw, so I watched Iron Claw. Yeah. It's a fucking wrestling movie.
Yeah. So how was Iron Claw? Oh, you talked highly. So let's.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, Iron Claw was my favorite movie of last year, and only because I think. like I came into the wrestling world like later, like in life, and I really appreciated wrestling once I went to like wrestling shows, and I knew people that were wrestlers, and you develop like a love for it, like watching them do like crazy stunts and like that sort of thing. So the movie is about the wrestling family, the Von Erich family, who apparently in wrestling circles they are cursed, and this movie kind of explores this very competitive families like struggle like to live with each other and wrestle, and like the dad is, I think, what would be like
Just a typical Southern dad.
Yeah,
like,
I would say
do what you're
I don't
told,
know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but
No,
he also he treats his kids with like a lot of favoritism, like something that you're not really supposed to do, but like it makes them competitive against each other. So you get a good sense of kind of like the unhealthy family life from this movie, and these four brothers and how they work with each other, and how they're also like a little bit different. And it's a character movie a lot, and it's about this real wrestling family and how you kind of see this family, like the events in this movie that happen make you think that this family might be actually cursed.
Okay.
And there's a little element of supernatural into it, like, which I really like. I really dug. And ultimately this demise of this family, you kind of see through the different brothers and their paths, like the best way through all of that, like through maybe like a not healthy family relationship, like through maybe like an abusive father. Like what the best path is versus what like the not good path is, and you get to kind of watch these brothers grow, and some of them don't make it out. I don't want to talk in spoilers too much.
Cool.
Some of them
No,
don't make it out
good.
quite the same way, but I will say, like, I'm kind of happy this movie got, like, it didn't get like the attention maybe I was kind of wondering if it would, but I love this movie. I think it's actually worth saying that its cinematography actually played a lot with like the mood a lot of the time. I thought it was well shot, well directed, I thought well acted, and Zac Efron, I will say, does, because he's put on so much like wrestling like meat, like weight in his face, like it does change his like face a little bit. It actually changed him a little bit, so like he could kind of hide in the character a little bit, kind of.
He was
not,
like Bane and Batman size.
yeah,
He
he
looked
was really big.
unnaturally
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, but it changed his whole face shape. Like what we recognized him as, he kind of got to hide in that character a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's for me, he's the through line. He's your best path through an abusive like family.
Okay.
Like, and like you get to kind of see like the best route. And his brothers don't take necessarily the best routes, like through all that or whatever. And like, I don't know, it's a biopic. I don't know how much of it's like accurate, like specifically accurate, but I love that there's a touch of supernatural in it, and it's, dude, you're gonna miss it. Like, you won't even realize that it's supernatural. It's that good.
Okay.
The ending's a tearjerker too. I'm not gonna say like
All right.
there's a lot going for me. I felt at the end of the movie, and like I'm also a dad too, for those of you listening. So like the fact that, and I have boys too. I have 3 boys, so it's like this movie's about like like 4 boys or whatever. It's like there was vibes of like, oh, those could be my boys, like that. So like, I don't know, maybe like it hit me different than maybe it hits other people, but like being a father, but also understanding like brothers and camaraderie, like I don't know. It just it felt like the perfect movie. While it's also a very sad and tragic movie. Like, it's not a good movie. Like a lot of bad stuff happens, but it has a happy ending, I think. So it's,
Okay.
yeah.
Ashley, you liked it or you didn't like it?
I liked it. I definitely think that, me personally, I don't think there was a curse in the family. I think it shows what happens when your dad is hard on you like that. Because he, growing up as son, saying, you have to do this, and if you don't, you're a failure. And that's how they grew up.
Yeah.
And it shows the mental toll it took on all 4 boys. And that one of them does take it very well. The other one might, and it just shows that, like, where he's like, do it or don't come home. And it just shows it's not a curse, and that's what happens. Yeah. And it is sad, and like, it is actually a very good movie. I was like, for a wrestling movie, it was actually very good.
And that's it too. Like, I feel like there's an air about wrestling that it's like, it's still kind of like, it's not high class or whatever, but like, it's no different than theater. It's no different than like any other kind of performance. And if it not, it's even more grueling on the people performing it. Like, it's physically like tolling.
What
right?
I will say to that, actually, which really surprised me, is that wrestling is fake. That's what we're always told, right?
Well,
and
yeah.
there's but it is until
Yeah, it is.
there's
Yeah.
a part though in the movie where which is very major part. I'm not spoiling it at the beginning.
Yeah, right.
But Buddy throws Zach, the main character, out of the ring, and he hits the cement on the outside. And he actually sits there, and he actually almost lost the match. And the dad was like, "Why didn't you get up?" And he's like, "He wasn't supposed to do that." And it shows you that, like, you're prepared until I'm trusting on Derrick to do what he's supposed to.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, I don't. And like, in this movie, you're showing ribs getting broken, you're showing noses getting broken, you're showing all of this stuff, and it's wild that it's like, oh, like, that's brutal. This is real. And you have to remember, like, the guy got slammed down, he broke, like, I don't know what he broke, the one son. And it's like, holy crap, like, this is real. We forget that this is real. This shit hurts.
And that's it too. It's like it's a dangerous thing. And I don't know. I think wrestling is very dangerous. And like, I think this movie does a very good job of exploring that. Yeah. Like, there's a healthy way to do wrestling, and then there's an unhealthy way.
It wasn't overdone with wrestling. It wasn't all wrestling.
No,
I gave
this
movie an 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
for
8
sure.
out of 10.
It was good.
That's good.
And for someone who doesn't like movies, I think it's very important that you say you like this movie.
I actually liked it. I actually enjoyed it. I didn't have to pause it. I didn't have to not care.
Yeah.
I actually watched it all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah,
Zach really
that's
helped.
great. And I also think too, one honorable mention thing for me too. The end of the movie, there's the "Live That Way Forever" song that like plays at the end of the movie.
Oh.
That song was made for that movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, like when that song came on, I'm like, yeah, I recognize this song. That's that. Wait, where is it? What is that song? So it's like that. I felt that for an original song in a movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually a really cool way to end the movie as well. And that song, not nominated, but like should have been, even if it's not, because like if Flamin' Hot got nominated, like for Flamin' Hot Cheetos movie, like that Iron Claw should have been on the list. Just saying, like Flamin' Hot's actually not a bad song. I've listened to all the nominated songs, and Billie Eilish is going to win it again.
Oh, 100%.
yeah, but like
She's
no
but,
way around it.
Yeah, but I would have loved at least Iron Claw to, like, that song "Live That Way Forever." I forget who it's by, but should have at least went up against that song. Well, it's just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. Moving on to a little Canadian movie. Happy to talk about Blackberry.
Oh, I have not seen this one. I haven't seen this one.
I just found out that was Canadian on the way here.
Yeah.
I refreshed on Wiki, and I'm like, that was from Hamilton? Well, Waterloo.
Yeah, but that's like, it's a double, or is it like, is the director Canadian as well? Or is it
Canadian as well. Matt Johnson.
Oh, Jay. Jay's the main character.
No.
He's Canadian.
Yeah, so he's
Jay
Canadian.
Baruchel too, yeah.
So Matt Johnson, he created a movie that me and you, Ashley, went and saw in theaters.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
The Dirties.
Yeah.
So from Toronto, made this like mockumentary movie for like no money, and it's fucking awesome.
It was a good
anybody who hasn't seen The Dirties, I recommend it. It's a school shooting movie.
It's a how to shoot up your school movie.
Yeah,
Which
pretty
is a
much.
bad topic, but it was well done.
It's super well made though, and he's hilarious in it. And then he made another movie called Operation Avalanche about the moon landing.
Which I haven't seen either.
I
feel like he's actually, it's cool that he's so local and close and cool, but like he's actually this big blind spot for me. So good for you, buddy.
Yeah, he's correct. And then he makes Blackberry, which is a big movie. Not big, but it's like big for somebody like that. And he comes in. He's got Jay Baruchel as the main character. He's got Glenn Howard. Is it Glenn Howerton? The guy.
The guy from Always Sunny.
The guy from Always Sunny.
Who looks like he shaved his head a little bit.
Yeah,
that's good.
So
that's
it's like them two are like the number one and number two bananas on the list. And then Matt Johnson plays the third main character and fucking steals every scene he's in. He's fucking hilarious. He's fantastic. He wrote it. He directed it. I recommend it. It's about the rise and fall of Blackberry.
Very cool. Very Canadian too. I love that.
I
love Blackberry. Just saying, I had a Blackberry. Wish I still had the Blackberry Curve that I had from so long ago. It was my favorite.
Oh, my favorite phone was the phone at the very end, the Storm.
Yep.
That's my favorite phone.
Yeah.
That phone was amazing. And you got to slide up the screen. You got a little keyboard underneath. I'm like,
So
that
good.
shit was dope.
Yeah, they understood that the keyboard was important, and I really appreciate that. Just as a company, like I don't know if they even talk about that in the movie at all.
They
So
do.
So
The
that's-
keyboard is
That's
actually
a major
really important.
part of the movie.
That's the thing. I mean, like without spoiling much at the end, well, the iPhone comes out.
Yeah.
But he can't fucking.
He was like, what do you mean there's no keyboard?
Yeah,
Like,
he
what are you
can't
talking
grasp
about?
that concept.
Yeah.
That people don't want a keyboard. He's like, why wouldn't you want a keyboard? He can't understand it, which is why.
Oh, that's
He
hilarious.
eventually fail. I mean, but they don't fail. Here's the thing. To this day, like my work uses BlackBerry security on all their phones, so like they're a great security company. Like they just don't
have phones anymore. Yeah.
But they're
That
still
movie
around.
was actually for like a documentary, because sometimes you really, not a documentary,
Or it's like
but
a biopic, I guess.
yeah,
right?
like
Is that-
you really, like, you're kind of like after a while, right? Like, but that movie was great. I actually really enjoyed that movie. I watched it on a plane.
Really?
I actually watched it. I actually really liked it, so that's good.
Good. I've seen it around. I'm gonna check that one probably before I check Sisu. Even.
Okay.
Because
It's
I think
good.
that would be
I
good.
recommend
Honestly, watch it. I watched it. It was easy for me. It was an
Yeah.
easy watch. And then like you just do learn a lot, which is really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And would you say okay? So like as far as like the information, like it's well laid out
everything.
or whatever.
No,
Yeah,
it's
you know
really
everything.
good. And I love
It's
the
laid
fact
out for dummies, which is really nice.
Okay,
For me,
good.
who doesn't know a thing,
Yeah.
it was super easy to understand.
I
yeah.
agree. And I love the fact, so the movie, I mean, all the trailers kind of make it look like, so Jay Baruchel and Matt Johnson play these two tech guys that like come up with this fantastic idea.
Right.
And then Glenn Howerton, I believe that's his name, fuck, I hope it is. He plays a guy who like they try to sell to, but they're not salesmen. They suck. But that's his job. He's really good at it.
Yeah,
so he gets fired from his job, and then he goes to their company. He's like, listen, you guys fucking suck at selling shit. I'm amazing at it, but you have a great product. I can sell it. So, like, you think where this is going is like, oh, this guy's going to fuck him over. Like, but it's not. It's 100%.
It's all real.
It was
Yeah.
100% like, without him, without one guy, the other wouldn't succeed,
they
and
wouldn't.
vice versa.
Yeah, right, I see.
They actually formed this like really good relationship, and it's like like they're a good team because without each other they wouldn't. Like when one fails, the other one picks
Yeah.
up the slack, and vice versa. Like
Okay.
and it's like a really good movie. I think
Like
I
one
think
of the
it's good.
major things in the movie is that they don't have enough bandwidth to cover all of the phones. So like they didn't have enough whatever RIM, I
Yeah.
don't know what it's called, and so all the phones were crashing. And they were like, and the guy was like, I'm useless. And it turns out one of the guys who invented the phone, he figured it out in like not even a day. He's like, oh, I got this. And he figured out how to add more servers. But it's like the seller might have made the millions by selling it. But you need this nerd
see.
over here who understood exactly what he needed.
100%.
And he was like, I don't even know what's wrong with the phone. And he's like, I got it. And he fixed it. So it's like they do need each other. And it was actually very well done.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was fantastic.
Me too. I didn't know much, so that was really nice.
Me neither. You know what? I
Yeah.
just knew it was a phone that
Yeah.
not around anymore.
Because there's another on this list that I did not know anything about, and I'm very happy that I watched it and that I learned so much.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's good.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, but
All right, next on the list, let's go a cartoon. What do you think?
Oh, I picked a couple. There was a couple cartoons this year.
I picked one as well.
Oh my
Let's
God.
go Super Mario Brothers.
Oh my
okay.
goodness.
I thought you
Okay.
meant the other one.
Okay. Okay. Here's the thing with this one. I think it's good. I'm glad that this movie came out when it did. And again, I'm gonna go back. I have kiddos, right? So my oldest at the time was 3 when we saw this. This was in April of 2023 when it came out, and my oldest would have been 3 in a little bit. But he sat like a good boy. We played Mario at home, right? So like Mario on the big screen at the movies, sat like a good boy, like even had some popcorn and stuff like that. I had a really good experience at the movies. Like even if the movie was terrible, I had a really good time at the movies. We both got to enjoy that movie. That being said, I think Mario is an Illumination movie. To the people who made the Minions, like their target is low. Like if we can get the little ones laughing, like we've succeeded.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that humor in this, and maybe that's off-putting maybe to some like older, like, because I think Mario could have done like a Toy Story where even though it was aimed at kids, there's a lot of adult humor, and that's there, but like there is a lot of kiddie humor in it and stuff like that too. And
See, to jump on that, I think what they were going for. So you're right. There was a lot of children, like child's humor. I think where it works though for people that are a little older there are so many references.
That's true.
To
That's
old
fun.
video games.
Oh, yeah.
If you grew up playing Mario like I did, like I know you did, like I know you did, like they throw in Mario Kart, they throw in Smash
Yeah.
Brothers,
Absolutely,
they throw in
yeah.
so much, even just like that first, like, oh, we got to get across town, and it's like just a side scrolling, like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
stuff
That
like
was great.
It's like,
yeah.
oh, this is
Yeah.
a fucking old Mario game. So like, there, even though a lot of the humor is definitely child based, they do have little nostalgia things for us. We're like, there it is, right there.
It always paid off. It always paid off. Even like, okay, like if you're like, okay, that kind of doesn't make like, even, okay, Mario has to like train a whole bunch for what Peach to just be like, oh, come on, loser, we're going anyways, right? Or whatever. Like, but the montage as it's happening, I'm laughing. I still think it's funny. Like he drops, like how many times you got to practice before you don't get it? Like whatever. It's still hilarious. Or traveling across town, like you said at the beginning, but even later, like with Toad, like taking him through like the pipes and stuff like that. I think all that's funny. Like I think it is maybe more of like it's giving you fan service, like in a way, but like at no point was I like, you know what, this is too much fan service. Like the whole thing is like a nice even amount of fan service the whole time, and I'm happy, 100%. Right? So it's like, I don't know, and like, okay, I get it, it's the Mario Brothers. That was another big thing maybe people didn't like, is that like Luigi and Mario got split up for it. Is this spoilers? Did you see it? Did everybody see this? Okay, they got split up, but I think that's also a way to kind of explore like different parts of this universe in like one movie, and I was really impressed with how the universe built. I was also impressed that they had a little bit of like on planet Earth, and then in the Mario world, and then back on planet Earth, and there's cool things that this movie got to explore that I never got to see, like DK with a fire like flower. Like cool. When have you ever seen DK spitting a fireball? Sure. Like that movie? And I'm like, again, it's unlocked like another level of my imagination. It made me love what Mario is more, but also like I'm excited now that this movie also gets to unlock like a Nintendo universe. Like we need a live action Zelda movie already. Oh. We need a Mario Kart movie already, for crying out loud. Yeah, no, it's already going to happen. I'm really excited. I think Wes Ball's in talk to direct it. The guy who did Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes that just came out, and I think what's his face from Maze Runner should play it. The one guy, the blonde guy, practically looks like Link.
Are you talking about the kid from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, maybe the blonde kid. The blonde kid in Maze Runner. Like, I don't know. Like the...
well, there's two. There's either Will Poulter, who plays the villain.
Not Poulter. Not that kid. The other guy.
The Jojen from Game of Thrones. The one who... the kid who leads Bran Stark to the Three-Eyed Raven. Him and his sister.
Oh, he does look like Link.
Yeah.
Just saying. Like, it's coming.
Yeah. He's like in his 40s, that kid. He
yeah?
Like, he's like fucking my age.
I didn't know
he looks
that.
really young. I think, well, that's really cool. But, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, this movie kind of is like the gateway to like what's possible, and like if you want to be like it's not for me or whatever, like because there's that, I've heard that argument, like, but you're poo-pooing a movie that made a lot of money for a specific reason because it's exactly what we all wanted. Definitely. Like in a way, or if you didn't want it, it's kind of like it doesn't matter because it fit. Somebody wanted that, and like whether it was my 3-year-old like who like sat like a good boy like and watched the whole movie, or like whether it was for me, like we both got I think the same amount of entertainment, and like since then we've watched it, like I put it on at home and like we sit and watch it. Like I think a movie's rewatchability is very important for how like its longevity is going to go, like in like culture, regardless of award season or whatever. Like if the movie is memorable and if it's something that's easily like consumable, like it also like has legs. So yes, that's what Mario is. I thoroughly enjoyed it, I think. So it's like, and it that's it.
I took my niece to see it. She's 13, so she wanted to see it, so we took, so speaking of movies, I took my 13-year-old niece to see. Segue. Let's move on to Thanksgiving.
You're weird, dude. I don't know. Did she like that?
She did you take me to one, I'll go to one of yours. So.
Wait, you took her to Mario and she took you to Thanksgiving, or is it vice versa?
She asked to go to Spider-Man, I'm guessing.
No, I want to say it was actually Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah. Oh.
She asked to go see Five Nights at Freddy's.
She did.
And I was like, all right, cool. And Thanksgiving trailer.
I didn't see it. I wanted to go.
Five Nights at Freddy's. You didn't
it was good. I actually liked it. Another movie that's not on the list, but it was actually pretty good. I actually liked it. But
it had all what I thought was all the ingredients of something that could have made it like higher, like up like the echelons of movies this year or whatever. But like,
because I love PETA. He's a great actor. I really like him.
He was actually really good.
I gotta watch that. Remind me to watch that later. Yeah.
The man's named after weak bread. Weak, flimsy bread.
It's better than Gail.
Yeah.
Gail.
But yeah, Thanksgiving. Anybody else?
So here's the thing. I have actually a connection to the story. I haven't seen the movie. I would really like to see it.
Okay.
But it was exciting to hear that it's shot in Hamilton, and someone I know was one of the extras in the movie, in the trailer, and she also got up on the killer's wall. So she's hopeful that she gets to come back for the sequel to get murdered in like some sort of montage. I don't know if it's ever going to happen or not. I know a little bit what happens in the movie. I love Thanksgiving, the old like Grindhouse trailer. I think that there's actually some weird stuff going on in that movie, like the dude effing the turkey or whatever. Like I totally forgot that was even in the thing. I recently rewatched that, like in hopes that I would see the new movie, but I haven't watched the new movie yet. You guys.
Okay, so not as graphic as the Grindhouse trailer. If it was, I wouldn't have taken my niece to see it. Let's be honest with you.
Yeah, actually,
I made sure I read. I was like, what's the worst thing that happens in this movie? It's just gory. It's just really gory. It's not nothing like sexual or anything. But
that's good.
Because that Grindhouse trailer,
he's fucking a
turkeys
turkey.
are getting fucked.
I was like, no way.
The knife in the vagina.
Oh shit! Yeah, right through the trampoline.
On the trampoline,
yeah.
It's like whoa.
Yeah.
Which is the scene is in the movie, but it's
trampoline.
It's not that graphic.
Oh wow.
Instead, she doesn't. I don't. Oh, maybe she does take her underwear out, but like, it's in her foot instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's just like okay, it's
good.
like a tamed down version.
Oh no! So was that disappointing for you?
No. Here's the thing. I actually loved the movie. There's a particular thing about the movie that I really love, but it's a 100% spoiler, so I totally can't get into too much to it.
Oh, I think it was spoiled for me. I think I know who the killer is.
Okay.
So I was like, but like you saw it? No, like was that like? Okay. Oh, you didn't see it. So okay. It's been spoiled, but like, it's okay.
All right. All I'll say is, if you've seen the original Halloween movie, which I have 100 times,
okay.
that 19 is it 67, 70?
I don't know.
Anyway, fucking the original, the Jamie Lee Curtis fucking John Carpenter movie. It opens with a shot on a first-person view of the front door of a house.
Okay.
And it does like so the whole killing in the beginning of Halloween is it's a first-person perspective, and then it turns out that's young Michael Myers killing his sister.
Yeah, you're right. Okay,
right?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, this movie opens with a first-person shot on the door. And I laughed out loud. I'm like, and then it shows who the person is immediately. But I'm like, if that person turns out to be the killer, that'll be fucking genius. Sure enough, that person turns out to be the killer.
Okay.
I was like, I called that second one. I was like, that's so clever because it's called Thanksgiving, which is obviously an homage to Halloween. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like everything about it.
I never thought of it like that. Okay,
I just thought it was clever
because they're close by, like in holidays, right? Like they're near. Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, well, they're only like 20 days apart, or is it Canadian?
Oh, it's American. It's American.
Yeah, so 20 days apart.
Yeah. But I love the whole storyline. It's like a Black Friday at this retail store. It gets crazy. A bunch of people get trampled and die. So then the killer comes back a year later and is killing people off that had something to do with starting this riot. And that's like I loved it because I hate fucking Black Friday so much. Even though this has nothing to do with us, we're Canadian.
It doesn't.
Yeah, we don't have that. I go online anyways.
We have Boxing Day. That's when that's after Christmas.
And I go online.
Yeah, for real. But no, I love the movie. I thought it was fun. I thought so is it John Carver? So that's who like the killer is. It's like the Carver. And I'm like, what a cool name. I'm into it.
Carver.
That's pretty good.
I'm into it. Like what a cool name.
So you think it's pretty much channeling like the slasher movies?
Oh yeah.
And by making its own at the same time.
100%. And it's
that's good.
Loving every second of it.
Yeah.
It's obviously having so much fun.
Yeah.
There's so many just little references to other slasher flicks.
So is it like a Scream in that way? Like it's meta, or like is it self-aware like Scream is, or is it like
a little bit?
Okay.
So somebody actually said, I ended up reading a review before I saw the movie.
Okay.
And it said, this is the best Scream movie since Scream like 2 or whatever. And I was just like, oh, interesting. And I saw the movie and all I could think of is whoever wrote that article is 100% correct.
Yeah,
it is a really good Scream movie. Yeah, actually.
Okay, well that's okay. And here's to be said. Even like I don't like Scream 6 came out like 2023, didn't make the list, but like.
Interesting.
Yeah, it did, right?
It did.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I have it on my list. Somebody check that. I don't know.
It probably
okay.
did. Scream 6, the newest one. That was this year, right?
I watched it. I don't remember.
Yeah, we watched it.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. Either way, like it wasn't amazing, but I still had a good time with it. And I think that's kind of what it sounds like Thanksgiving's going to be because it's a killer who done it, right? Like is it like that? Like like is there a group of kids like looking for the murderer and stuff
teenagers.
Like that? Okay, sick.
Well, they're the ones who started the riot.
Oh,
so
they're
all
the targets. They're the marks.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so it's a little bit of like I could see how that would be a lot of fun and kind of. I know that there was an era where that was like there was a lot more of those movies, so it's good that it's coming back to that again and doing it. Hopefully in a way that like some of these modern horror movies are just they're forgetting things. That being said, too, I don't know if Talk to Me's on the list at all.
So yeah, it's
Okay,
on my list.
okay. It was lower for me, but like that's also I think good modern horror as well. I don't know. And I'm not segueing though.
Let's
but
segue.
Like,
Let's
okay,
segue. Let's
okay,
go.
okay.
Talk to me.
Okay.
Ashley,
Did you see it?
Did you see
Yeah.
Talk to me?
Okay, we've all seen it then.
Yeah.
Okay. I like this movie a lot. For me though, first of all, like I don't like a lot of scary movies. I think the more I watch, the more I just get scared about everything because life's scary enough sometimes.
Yeah.
But I did watch Talk to Me.
It's because you're a dad.
Yeah, maybe it could be that too. Yeah.
True.
But I watched Talk to Me, and I tell you what, like I think that I watched the two directors. They did an interview. The two of them are so full of piss and vinegar. Like I can see why this movie like is. I feel like they got the youth right in this movie.
I agree.
Before anything crazy happens in this movie, they got the fact that like kids are like stupid. Like in a way
Just
that
for views online.
yeah,
It's so
right,
true.
right, and like they like. Of course, you would find some sort of like magic hand or whatever that lets you talk to dead people or see them or whatever.
And you bust it out at parties.
Yeah, right, yeah.
While you're
And-
smoking and drinking.
Yeah, and of course you would have your friends filming it, and like that sounds like every stupid teenager party that I've ever like when I was that young that I was at. But now there's like some stupid like Ouija board there or whatever, right? And I'm like, I buy all this, like it makes sense, and because you're all wielding something you have no idea what you're wielding, like crazy stuff starts to happen, and like I think they do that really well too, right?
So I love horror movies. I love movies that do this, but horror movies especially where they're like, okay, it's like some random person who's just had this thing for so long. They're like, okay, this is the mystical thing. These are the rules.
Yeah.
You can't break the rules. The second these rules are said, we all know where the fuck this
Somebody's
is going.
breaking the rules. Yeah,
Yeah, someone's gonna break those. But I love that shit. I love the like. It Follows was another great example. I was like, all right, these are the rules.
But the
This is
rule wasn't broken.
It was. It can't be in it for more than 90 seconds.
He
And
wasn't
she
in it for
and
me.
she
was-
broke it, or did the little boy? Because there's
Well, the little boy broke it, but it
Yeah.
was because of her.
yeah.
She wouldn't let him let go.
Oh,
Because
she
he was
held
talking
it?
to her mom.
Right,
So she
right,
wouldn't let
right.
him. Where they were
Yeah.
like, we gotta fucking let him let go, and
Yeah.
she's like, no, like,
Yeah.
And then, but it turned out it wasn't her mom; it was something else. It
Yeah,
was
right.
like,
Which like that's it too. It's like you honestly think that that's your mom,
Yeah.
Like, dude, and that
Yeah,
whole
but
thing.
That's
yeah.
a whole
Yeah,
thing.
but
though.
I also think that actress. I don't know that actress's name, but I think she did a really good job of. I miss my mom. Like I miss that whole thing. Like I understand why she would want to play with it. Different
she
than
was
how everyone else wanted,
spectacular.
yeah, right. And I thought she did a really good job. I even think that boy, like that whole, like I told some people when I saw it, I'm like, there's a scene in the movie that kind of shifts the whole tone of the movie, and it's on the downward slope after that, and it's the scene with the boy, because like after
Is
that,
it him in the shower? Because that was it for me.
well, no, even before the shower, I think just once he gets possessed, like the violent smacking his head against the table and all that,
So-
like that. Once that happens, like everything after that isn't good. Like there's
Yeah.
no recovering from there. You let it in, you messed up big time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and there's no recovery. Like dude, like that movie's clearly a cautionary tale. I like that though. So.
Agreed. So I love the idea of him smacking his face off the table. My only problem with it is it's pretty much the scene from Hereditary, where the kid starts smacking his face. And I'm like,
yeah.
it was done so much better in Hereditary.
Yeah,
but
fair.
I do agree with you that
Fair.
it's a great moment, and like his face is so fucked up.
Oh yeah, I think that was it too. Is because like, and that's important. I think.
For the
I
rest
think-
of the movie, that he
yeah.
looks like
yeah,
that.
he's and that's clearly a side effect of bad choices. But even prior to any of that, like clearly that girl and him have a relationship that's a sweet, like caring, like I wouldn't say motherly, but like bigger sister, like little brother, even though they're not related. There's a really sweet moment that they're able to get between them before anything bad happens, and I think that's what also makes the crazy devastating stuff that happens at the end of it even much more harder, because
Yeah.
I bought their relationship prior.
Yeah.
Like I bought that she was actually looking out for this little boy normally, like she was under certain circumstances, like without it being her mom or whatever, right? But like, okay, first time you touch the thing and you see some wet slopping wet like lady in front of you or whatever, that's it. Just let go.
done.
Like
I'm
you're
done.
done. Like it works. Okay, I'm leaving the party now. Like that's not what I wanted today. Like who in the right mind's like, oh man, this feels so good looking at this soaking wet lady who's just like at me or whatever, right? Like, I don't want that. Like, nobody should want that, right? So that's where I kind of go like, you know what, this is fun. I can't wait for the sequel. Talk to me too, or talk to me again, or whatever. Like, that's like, I can't wait for it. But like, yeah, that's just,
I agree.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
To go off of what he just said, something that was he bought it early on, and that's what made the ending better. One of the most controversial movies that I never liked, that everyone likes, is A Star Is Born because of that. I did not have enough time to buy their love. And whenever everything happened, I just went, why are you with him? And it really sucks that I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
And so that brotherly, sisterly love that you bought, that actually did affect me in the end. Mm-hmm. While I wasn't I was emotionless for A Star Is Born completely.
It's true. It's like that idea where like she 100% did not want to hurt him. And you could tell, you're like exactly right, where it's like, it's just an accident. It was just like, not an accident, but it was like...
Whenever you talk to someone, your mother, who you haven't spoke to in years, who's dead, I might have done the same. You know, like, you're not thinking like that.
Yeah. I disagree, just because if my mother's dead, I don't want to talk to her. Like, if I'm bringing her back from the dead or whatever, like, we've all seen Pet Sematary. Right, like
it's true.
Like I said, like when they come back, they're not the same, okay? Or they're not them. Like there's in no right way is the supernatural party favor gonna help bring your mom back in a way that's like sustainable. Like there's no way. I feel like that's all playing with some type of supernatural fire you're not supposed to. But I like that though too. Like that was a good cautionary tale. I think it's worth the watch. I also like the Philippou brothers, like the directors. They worked on the Babadook. They were like part of the crew, like of the Babadook, but they're also like crazy stuntmen, like that. Like the one brother, like there's videos like of him throwing himself into cars, like a car's just driving on the road and he just like up and like throws himself right in front of it, like shatters the windshield and stuff in it. Like these dudes are nuts. Also the crazy brother, because there's the writer brother and then the crazier brother. The crazier brother also did like testing for like experimental testing, like to just make money, right? Like kind of like Robert Rodriguez, like that or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, if you want to test like drugs on yourself to see what the effect they have on you or whatever. But these guys are hyper, dude, and they also just got signed to do the Street Fighter movie or whatever. So like they know how to fight a little bit. Like they're not like martial artists like training, but they understand martial arts. So I'm curious to see what else they do, and I would love it if it's not a horror movie next. If it's something different, see what they can do. Right?
Although I loved their horror, I loved this movie.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I loved it as a horror movie. I thought it was amazing. All right, let's move on to a movie I didn't see. I'm not sure about you, but I know you saw for sure. Pricilla.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see this movie, but I like that Sofia Coppola's making stuff.
Me too.
So I'm good for her. Tell me about it.
I know you're a big fan of Elvis.
I am.
Big fan of Elvis, which is why when I saw it on there,
I was like, I gotta watch this. Yeah. What I will say that I really liked is I loved that it paid no attention to Elvis. I loved that. We already got an Elvis movie a couple of years ago, which I fucking love with Austin.
It was last year.
And so it's like, that was last year, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Last year, 2 years ago?
It was
so I'm like, we already saw that. Thank you for not telling me again about Elvis. Yeah. It had nothing to do with him. It did not follow him at all. When he left town, we were with her. Okay. I'm like, thank you. Like, you learn a lot about the sadness that she felt and that she just like... And it's about, like, her sitting down and she sees a magazine saying, ooh, you know, like, I forget her name, Anna something and Elvis are now a couple. And it's her, like, pregnant sitting at the table, like, just, what are you going to do kind of thing. I did not know how young she was. They met when she was 14.
Oh.
And then he called her 2 years later when she was 16. And then that's whenever she moved to Nashville. He did not have sex with her until she was, like, 20. Okay. But they did sexual things together. But he was 22 and she was 14. And then the whole family said no. Like, nope. And he kept going back. And then he brought her home. They got married and then had the kid, right? But the whole thing is so messy, just watching it from her side and what she had to deal with. And he was like, you're going to have black hair and you're going to put on veneers and your dresses are going to be blue and this is what you're going to do. And she's like, okay. And just like, it's wild. Yeah. It's a really it's a long movie. It's like long just talking.
Yeah, so my plan was to watch it this weekend. It's actually on Amazon Prime right now. I was like, I could watch it for free.
Yeah, I watched it.
And we ended up watching something else. I just never got
I liked it. I thought it was good. I just love not hearing about him anymore. I know everything there is to know about him. I'm so happy just to read about her. But then it kind of cut off at a weird spot, Because whenever everything was starting to get messy, like right when the divorce happened, is when the movie ends.
Oh.
So
I guess it's just about their relationship. It's
literally.
It's like literally once
so
the
like,
relationship
I don't
ends,
have to watch him like getting all like nothing. It was just right when he was at his prime. Like he didn't have his thing in Vegas yet. He was obviously a drug addict since he was in the Navy. But yeah, so like she divorced him, got in the car, and left, and that was the end of the movie. I'm like, thank you. Like I really respected that.
I like that. I like a movie that
like
knows
her.
where to end it. Yeah. I had a problem with. There's another movie that isn't on anybody's list that came out this year. It's actually nominated for Best Picture. Where I'm like, no, you overstayed your welcome for an extra 20 minutes that I didn't want. Maestro. Did you see Maestro?
No.
It was all, I'm a big music person. Yeah. It was on my list.
Yeah.
And I did not know it was Bradley Cooper. I would have definitely watched it.
Yeah.
It was his nose, right?
I thought the movie was, I thought the first half of the movie was actually amazing. Oh, yeah? I was actually saying out loud, this might be my favorite movie this year. I loved it. And then the back half, it just got super, for lack of a better word, boring. Oh, no. Which I don't like to say, but I'm like, it's just like, all like you were saying piss and vinegar, like all of like the fun you lost at the back half. And then there's a particular moment where you're like, oh, this is the perfect ending for this movie. And then they go on for another 20 minutes with shit that you really don't need.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just like once, and that last 20 minute shit is just like, all right, we got to get that Oscar. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't need this.
I watched Dumb Money instead, and Dumb Money was on my list, so I'm happy I watched it. But Maestro was on there.
Going back to Pricilla, though. Okay, so would you say, is it a good like double feature with Elvis?
Absolutely.
So you did like one and the other? That'd be good?
Well, because in Elvis, you don't hear about Pricilla.
Yeah.
So it was really nice, right? Completely different vibes.
Yeah. I okay, if I'm remembering correctly from Elvis, I remember towards the end, like, he's in Vegas at this point, but I think they're done already.
Yeah.
But I thought there was a good moment between the two of them.
Yeah, in the car.
But that's like a goodbye, kind of like, or whatever. Yeah. And I thought, well, that's kind of really heartbreaking. But I do know she wasn't treated the best.
No, she was treated like shit.
It's interesting that they explore that, because like I feel like everyone kind of forgets that. Like they know Elvis, and they're willing to overlook a lot of like what actually went on versus like their version of what Elvis is to them or whatever. Right?
I will say that Elvis was very bright. It was very exciting.
Yeah.
Pricilla,
Baz Luhrmann. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Like actually, it's if anything, sometimes it was too distracting for how bright it was when it could have. You know what? We don't need a montage through time right now again. Like it's okay. All right. All right,
I watched it like 4 times. I actually watched it in theaters.
Oh yeah.
But I will say Pricilla is just talking, and it's very gray and white.
Okay.
Not literally, but that's the tone. Yeah. It's just talking, and it's just.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like like pitching any Sofia Coppola movie to anyone is that though, and like, there's some way like it still works.
I love her movies,
right? Like
So she did Lost in Translation.
Lost in Translation, I really like.
I watched that.
Yeah,
but like, isn't that not just people hanging out, right, and talking? Oh, she made a disapproving look with her face. She didn't like Lost in Translation.
A couple of years ago, she made a movie called On the Rocks, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, I also like that one too. Again, it was Bill Murray as the dad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bill Murray
and Marlon Wayans is like the husband. And, Rashida
Bill
Jones.
Murray is not in this movie.
Unfortunately, that's okay. Yeah, he just makes an appearance. It's like, oh hey, what's up? I'm in this one too.
Yeah, I'm the Tom Hanks character from that movie. What's up?
One thing, I wanted to say about Pricilla, even though I didn't see it, I heard about this, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Is at the end of the movie, a Dolly Parton song plays, but apparently it was a Dolly Parton song that Elvis really wanted to perform, and she never let him play it.
Oh, that's.
And it's kind of a like, not an FU to Elvis, but if the song, it's kind of an FU to Elvis.
She said it in an interview.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like, look, like you couldn't have this. Like you couldn't have this song, and Pricilla was more than you deserved based off of your lifestyle.
Yeah,
choices,
it was a
I
love
think.
song. Yeah, and like, she's like, I want the money from it, and he said no.
It's kind of like she was a beard in the sense that like he's not gay. He's a wild party animal, and he wants that life, but he needs the beard. Like he needs the wife, and he needs the good image still, or whatever,
the baby
right?
and everything.
Yeah, right. Like because if he's got a wife and he's got a thing, but he's just too busy like making music and being on the road or whatever. Like that's kind of like this thing that I'm sure everybody bought, and it's like that's normal, but like it's kind of not. Like you should probably be like if you can afford to go everywhere, you could probably also take your wife too.
Well, he
right?
was he was doing movies, and then he didn't want her out because he was sleeping with all of his co-stars.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
He said that says that in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
How about bring your wife out if you actually love her and you're trying to pursue her, right? Like, how about that, right? Like, because this is something I think about. Like, if I want to make movies like big time, right?
Yeah.
Like, if my family's not there, if the people I love aren't there, like, I'm gonna have a harder time making that thing because like the people I'm around don't have to love me; they have to work with me.
Yeah.
And like you'd want to be around people that love you, but again, I don't know what Elvis' definition was of love or like
No,
what
they
we
broke up all the time.
Yeah, right. And what we perceive love, we know that maybe their relationship wasn't the healthiest one.
Yeah.
I buy that 100% because I don't know who like in Hollywood like are there a lot of healthy relationships? I don't even know if the work lets them be healthy, right? So like in Elvis it's a different story because he's like this rock god or whatever or like it's different maybe.
Yeah.
Like he could get away with more crazy BS and treat people more like their products or whatever, but
I don't know.
that's okay. That's all I had. That's it.
The better Elvis, Austin Butler or Jacob Elordi?
Austin
Butler.
I loved Austin.
Kurt Russell.
All right. Well, yeah. I love that movie. I don't
Right?
give a fuck.
John Carpenter.
No, well, hold up. I mean,
I don't know if it
Kevin
holds up.
Costner is
Yeah.
the better fucking Elvis in that movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh no, wait, you're talking 3,000 Miles to Graceland.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I was talking about the John Carpenter Elvis biopic
Oh,
movie.
fuck. We were talking about completely different
No,
movies.
yeah, it's okay. Well, like Kurt Russell's played Elvis a couple of times. I forgot
Apparently.
about 3,000 Miles to Graceland. Actually, I want to watch that one now. We're
I
gonna
love that
check
movie.
one. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, since Jacob Elordi wasn't your fave in that movie, how about the movie Saltburn? Did you see it?
Ooh, yeah, I did actually.
I know you watched it.
It's actually not on my list for a very specific couple of specific reasons.
Okay.
Did you see it?
Here's the thing.
She
It was
nods
actually
her head
funny.
disapprovingly.
We were driving to Poor Things. She had no idea what poor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all she said is it weirder than Saltburn? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so because it's pretty weird. It turned out to be weirder than Saltburn.
Weirder
But-
than Saltburn for sure.
Poor Things
But-
is weirder than Saltburn.
Yes.
I think Poor Things has a better payoff than Saltburn does.
No.
I think Saltburn is weird because whatever, it's fun. I guess
I definitely
maybe,
enjoyed
whatever.
Poor Things more
Yeah,
than Saltburn.
Saltburn feels incomplete to me. Saltburn feels like, bro, Lex Luthor did a better job of what you tried to do, and like it was in the opening of another movie. Like you spent the whole movie trying to achieve what could have been achievable, like in a montage, right? I don't know. Like, why do I care? Oh, sorry. Like,
I love the movie. But go
you
ahead.
liked it? Okay.
I did.
So
Go-
I didn't like it. I liked her other movie that she made.
Promising Young Woman.
Promising Young Woman. That's it. I liked that movie.
Oh,
And
that was the where she like.
yeah,
Yeah, I
That's
liked
a-
that.
That
that's
was. I
yeah.
loved that.
I
movie.
loved that
That movie
movie.
was fantastic. So I was
the
really.
nurse outfit and stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved that movie.
I was very excited for this movie.
That I thought that was a good revenge thing. That was laid out a little bit better. I thought this, whatever this is, I don't know if this is adapted or if this is original. Whatever this
believe
is,
it's original.
Okay, I don't care. The whole movie, I'm just like, I don't care.
Okay,
I don't
well,
care. I don't
all
care. I
right.
don't care. And I think the whole movie is just being like, well, guess what? There's this in it, and he licks it, and you're like, okay, like what the fuck? Like I don't care. Like get to what this movie is getting to. Oh, just parading around the house naked. You killed a rich family that didn't deserve it. Eat the rich. Is that the movie? Is that it? Can I go now? Like it wasn't enough of a movie. Like if you want Barry naked, like again, it's porn, dude. Like it's not like he's
agree.
like literally there's like if you want butt naked, what's his face or whatever, because he's hot right now or whatever. That's your movie. This is your movie. Like Naked Barry. I forget his last. I'm gonna butcher his.
I believe.
Koenig. I'm sorry, dude. Like I don't care. Like, and I think this movie is made for like the girls that like this boy. Like that's it.
I don't think so.
100%. Like I get it or whatever. There's like people who think he's hot or whatever. Like I don't want to see this dude like as much as I saw him in this movie. Like I don't care.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I really like this. I was really looking forward to this movie. Like we said, I loved Promising Young Woman.
Okay.
I was super looking forward to this movie. So me and my wife watch it, and I remember after watching it, we were both kind of like, it was okay. It was, whatever. So, but for whatever reason, I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Oh.
It was one of those movies where it just stuck with me for a couple of days. So I ended up watching it a second time because I'm like, I have to watch it again. Like, what the fuck is it about this movie? Here's the thing. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. Here's the thing. I'm a huge Richard E. Grant fan.
Okay.
I loved him in With Nail and I. He's one of my favorite actors.
He's fine
So
in
he
it,
was
yeah.
fucking great in it. I love Rosamund Pike. She was great in Gone Girl. I thought she was fucking good. I think Jacob Elordi is actually pretty good as this like. It's kind of a spoiler, but for the first half of the movie, you think like, no, this guy's gonna be a douche. It's gonna turn out this guy's too fucking nice. And then it turns out, no, he's just the nicest guy in this
Is
family.
he the guy from the Hunger Games?
Which one?
Finn from
No,
like,
no,
the
no, no.
second
That's
one? They look a little
Sam
like to
something.
me.
Yeah, it's same jawline probably.
Like
Yeah.
the same
no,
idea.
no.
Anyways, continue.
Here's the thing. I will say, like, okay, I didn't mind him, and I was expecting. Okay, here's the thing. As this movie's progressing, because I'm like, what is this getting to?
Yeah.
What is it getting to? And it is kind of a switch up where I'm expecting at some point that guy to kind of be the worst and kind of maybe
villain.
break the other
For
guy's heart. Yeah, or
For
whatever.
sure.
Yeah.
But
So-
it turns out not at all.
Yeah.
He's the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Even the fucking other kid is the worst. Like, he's the worst. But you kind of know right off the bat, like, no, this kid's the worst. He's jealous that you're there. Like,
Yeah.
and then the sister, it kind of implies like, no, he does this a lot. He brings people home, and it's like, okay, where's this going? Is this a cult? Are we
Yeah.
satanic? Like, fucking
Yeah.
sacrificing people? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I was expecting that. Maybe they get him there and then they hunt him. Maybe that's what but then like he hunts all them. But like, okay, the eventually it just reveals that, okay, like, look, he scoped this family because they're rich and he just wants what they have.
Yeah.
Like, is really what it comes down to. And I go, oh, I kind of would have liked it different. I think it's just how it wasn't impressive enough for me. And like, don't get me wrong, I think there was some really cool cinematography in it. I really dug some of the composition, and like, again, like, beautiful house. You need the scenery, like, you need all these things to be there. Like, if you don't have this mansion or you don't have like certain things, it doesn't work. And like, they had all that in place, but I just.
All right. Well,
I don't.
agree
Okay.
to disagree. I thought
Yeah,
the movie
okay,
was,
yeah.
but like I said, when I
Yeah.
first watched it, I thought it was kind of mad myself.
Yeah.
It was just I couldn't get it out of my head.
Okay,
It
fair.
was just stuck up there. I couldn't
Yeah.
get it out of there, and then now I got to watch it again. It was the second time where I'm like, no, this is really good.
Okay.
I like this more than I thought I was going to. But go ahead, sorry.
I don't wanna say anything.
What did
Yeah,
you think
you
of
don't have-
Saltburn?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I-
you didn't say anything. That's all
I
you
Yeah,
didn't
she
said.
hasn't
say
said
it.
anything yet.
I thought it was very empty too. I felt like there was no reason for the movie.
All right, well,
Oh.
fuck you both.
Yeah,
then.
yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I've just like it didn't feel like enough. Like, Promising Young Woman was enough. So it's like,
loved
I'm
the movie.
kind of like, the bar has been set at that, and this one just kind of goes underneath it. I'm actually, of the movies we've discussed, this is the only one I'm disappointed on the list, but it's fine. This is a collective. Okay,
You know what?
it's not
You
just
picked-
about me.
You know what? Let's go to a movie that you picked.
Oh, what?
That is on the list. That
What?
I'm like, okay, no, I'm playing.
Okay, no, that's fine. Lay it on me, because there's a couple I can't believe made it based on like other people's picks, because we have some good overlap, right? Which is good. There's like a lot of movies
There is
that we've
actually
all
a lot
seen.
of
So
no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just playing.
no, lay it on me. Which one's bad? Which one? Or if
All
you're
right,
not
fuck
ready
it.
to
I'll
say,
throw it out there.
Fuck you. Yes,
All
yeah.
right, we're going to Megan.
Oh, what? Okay. First of all, let me just say, okay, I understand what the formula of Megan looks like it should represent, and like what the outcome of Megan should have been. I think is a lot less than what I think its turnout was. Like, overall, I think the fact that she did those like wicked dances on TikTok or whatever really helped the movie. It did. Like, in the box office, it helped it.
It sold tickets for sure.
Yeah, right. But that being said, like, the advertising for it or whatever, I think that the fact that it's a movie that pretty much is telling us that, like, the more time you spend immersing yourself in technology, and the sooner you do, like the earlier you do, and the more the technology gets better, the more it kind of removes certain developmental stages. Now, it's amplified by this like fake doll Chucky like ripoff or whatever, right? But there is actually some serious undertones where like this woman is given her niece and is like a toy manufacturer, robotics like maker, so she's not able necessarily to like look after this kid, which I understand, right? So what do? You give the kid a phone, or you give the kid a piece of technology. In this case, it's a girl doll that's like learning and like knows exactly what this kid needs, who's actually going through like a huge trauma thing. So like, on top of a Chucky like movie, pretty much, you also have this girl that's like on the side of Chucky, like slowly over time. So you get to there's a lot going on in this movie aside from it being a killer robot doll movie, which it's that too.
Hey.
And the moments where she's on the rampage or whatever. I will say, Walk the Night, like when she busts off like the paper cutter and she's walking the halls like to the Walk the Night or whatever. That's something I can't get out of my head. Like I'm still singing that song. If you've heard that song or whatever, I highly recommend it. You can't stop but like dance like or whatever. So I think there's a lot of things in this movie that like shouldn't work as good as they did for me, but they do. And like also there's a robot fight in it. So anytime robots want to tussle, and I'm talking like this is a good robot fight, like that's like I am like I'm there. Like so, like I was not expecting a robot fight. This was not a movie where I expected that there was going to be only one killer robot and they were going to have no advantage whatsoever. There's a little bit of like human, like, well, fuck you. But then too, even how it ends. You guys all saw it? You guys saw Megan?
I didn't see it.
Okay. Oh my god. Oh, you shitting on it. Oh, fuck you. Okay. Here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, it's a movie that actually makes sense. That if they make a sequel of it, it's not what did the first movie have? Because we have to just checklist it. Like, there is a progression here. There's an ongoing story that it's not over. And like, I'm on board. I hope they make a sequel. If they don't make a sequel, I don't care, because it's like, it's good as is. It's good if they continue it. I think it was really well done. It also was like the beginning of this year, so it actually had a lot of time to kind of just sit around, like the beginning, because like there's not a lot of stuff happening, right? So I liked it. I saw it twice actually. I went and saw it, and then I took my wife to see it. She loved it too. So it's like she wouldn't normally go to see something like that. So for her to say she's like, you know what, I actually liked it, is actually saying something, because it's scary, but it's not that scary, which is kind of where I'm at. Like, for scary movies, I don't want them too scary, right?
Here's the thing, man. I was kind of half talking shit. Like, I didn't see it, so I didn't actually know. You actually convinced me. I might
you have to check it out.
Here's the thing. I only saw the TikTok things. I was talking to a couple people up there, like, it's okay. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I know I made some money, so I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Maybe those people
I just
are
never
right.
really got around to seeing it. So
maybe they're right. Maybe it's okay. But I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I liked the cast in it. I like what they were doing with the kid, because the kid is scary. Like, the Megan doll is scary. Like, from the get-go, it's not a good idea. But, like, there's times when you're like, oh, like, I could actually see that being, like, helpful for kids going through, like, trauma of, like, losing their parents. Like, this is actually, like, this could be something, like, maybe, right? Like obviously, like, the movie just needs a killer robot doll. Like, so it's like they're trying to trick you. But I don't know. That's good. Check it out. Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, like, there's other movies. Like, I'm glad it made the list, but that's how I get it.
All right, cool. Moving on to a movie that was almost on your list, but you gave it up, and I was like, I will gladly pick it up and throw it on mine. Let's talk about They Cloned Tyrone. Did you see?
Oh, I didn't know nothing about this.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I fucking loved this movie.
I liked it.
Okay, so what did you like about it? I'm curious.
I liked it a lot. It was not what I was. Again, I go in blind in these movies. I have a love for Jamie Foxx.
Oh, he's so good at it too. It's like the pimp.
I love Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
You know what? All three main characters all had very different personalities, but they all were great. Like, one did not rise more than the other. I really like that. Obviously, Fontaine of the three is, the more boring one. But, like, Yo-Yo is great. I really loved her. The whole premise, like, it's like a gangster film, and you're like about, like, the hood, I guess, like the ghetto, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. And then it just goes this whole right turn, and you're like, what are we talking about?
Is it cloning?
Yeah.
So it's about, like, the government cloning people, but it's like, where can we clone people and, like, nobody would notice?
Because there's so much death in the hood.
Yeah.
There's so many shootings.
So
The opening of the movie is like Buddy grabs money from Jamie Foxx, and then he gets shot at and he dies in his car. And then he wakes up the next day and he goes to Jamie Foxx to get his money. And Jamie Foxx is like, you were here yesterday. And he's like, no, I wasn't. And that's how the movie starts. And you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Like,
but then it turns
Jamie's
out,
like freaking out. And he's like, buddy, you were here. I swear to God. Yo-Yo was here. So then they find Yo-Yo. And Yo-Yo's like, dude, you were there yesterday. And that's where the movie's just fucking
it just goes
weird.
from there. And it becomes this, like, they're
So
putting
weird.
drugs in, like, the fried chicken. You know what I mean? And, like, stuff
Songs
like that.
Is
So,
this
like-
got like Undercover Brother vibes, or is it like it's a little bit more serious?
It's a little more serious.
Okay,
I'm trying to
And
think
then,
of a
like,
movie
the
that...
church
Sorry
is
for
like...
bothering you. Sorry to Bother You?
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Great
Okay,
example.
yeah, yeah.
Great example.
Like, I can tell there's like some satire here, or there's some things where it's like it's talking about society, but also telling a good story at the same time. Yeah.
I loved it. And the three main characters, all actors are fantastic. It's Finn from Star Wars is the main character.
John Boyega.
John Boyega. Okay, I believe the girl is from the Marvels.
Oh.
So
is it Miss Marvel or is it
not
Spectrum?
Obviously
or
not.
whatever, yeah. Not Captain Marvel.
I'm trying to remember what the fuck her name is.
Yeah. Oh, she has a photon.
Photon. There it is. Yeah. So it's not Captain Marvel. It's not Miss Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's in it too. Okay.
So she plays Yo-Yo, and then Jamie Foxx plays the pimp who like is a drug dealer or whatever the fuck. But like, it's such a fun movie for like. I loved it. I thought it was so
going
fun.
in blind.
Unfortunately, you're not going to blind now.
Well, no, not now. But like, honestly, it's not been on.
It's still fucking weird.
Yeah, that's enough. I'm not gonna seek it out until I actually see. Where'd you guys watch it?
Netflix. It's a Netflix movie.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It was made by Netflix. So like, so check it out, man. It's fucking.
Okay.
I loved it. I thought it was fun.
I liked it.
And it's funny because even the title has no one's named Tyrone.
No one is Tyrone at all.
So it's like until it's the very last. Sorry, that was fun. It's the very last line of the movie. It's a good punchline. I thought it was. Okay. I thought it was good fun.
Interesting. Okay, all right. I could see like I'm expecting. So I would also be like, yo, where's Tyrone? Like I don't like I'm waiting for him here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna check that one out. Thank you.
And I know you because you. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. I'm sorry. The first Google search I made was the first line in the movie was like, dude, I saw Tupac yesterday. I swear to God, the way he walked, the way he talked, it was Tupac. So I Googled what is Tupac's first name because I thought it was Tyrone. And I thought that the movie was about cloned Tupac.
I believe Tupac is his first name.
That's what I
believe it's Tupac Shakur. I could be wrong.
Shit,
Yeah, you're wrong. I don't know.
And then it just turns out like that his name was not Tyrone. But that's how blind I went in, where I'm like, I have not a fucking idea of where we're going.
Okay, cool.
So
I like that.
I really liked it. We did not spoil anything. We did not. Like, the movie's fucking weird.
And I know you love movies like government conspiracy,
fucking
The Goonies, Ghostbusters, like shit like that. But like, you'll like it. I think you'll like it. It's fun.
Good. I'm gonna check it out.
Movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about. You know what? Let's just go fucking big. Let's talk about Oppenheimer. We all know it's on everybody's list.
Is it big though? I don't know. Here's the thing.
Oh, stop.
Okay. Did you guys like it?
I loved this movie.
Oh, okay. Then you talk about it. If it's a movie you liked, I don't want to be all like negative about it. Here's the thing.
You can do whatever you want. It's your opinion.
I liked it. I think, okay. All right, no offense. Okay, I don't want to talk about newer movies, but Dune Part 2 just came out right now.
All right.
Okay, sorry. But there's interviews where for some reason Christopher Nolan and like Denis Villeneuve are like sitting side by side or whatever, doing some interview or whatever, and I can see Nolan is fanboying sitting beside Denny.
Yeah.
And it's because I feel like Nolan is losing something. And Oppenheimer is because I think the reason why people like Oppenheimer so much is because Tenet was a disaster. And people are just happy he made a decent, coherent movie.
I don't think so.
Didn't you like Tenet?
Yeah.
No, was that not the movie that was forwards and backwards?
Yeah, we watched it.
I dare you to find somebody who actually liked that movie and knows what it's about. Like,
so,
yes,
me and Melissa did watch it.
Okay.
Me and you watched it. Me and Ashley watched it recently.
But liked
down here.
But liked it.
That was the one that was forwards and backwards. Yeah. We watched it in my basement. Like,
she doesn't even remember.
I don't
like 2 months ago, actually.
I don't think we watched
that many
it.
movies.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
I don't think we watched it.
But we're not even talking about Tenet.
No, I know. I'm distracting from the point here. Christopher Nolan makes...
we did watch it. Yeah, we did.
Christopher Nolan makes a half-decent, coherent movie. Everyone's singing his praises again.
Well, Inception's amazing, let's be honest.
Okay, fair. And I get
that's
that.
A good movie.
I understand
Prestige
Inception.
Is a fucking masterpiece.
That's amazing
I also understand
movie.
this. But, like, he's not making those movies anymore. Like, I feel like Oppenheimer isn't those movies.
I thought Dunkirk was a masterpiece.
Okay, Dunkirk. Okay, I like Dunkirk.
And that was the one right before Tenet, right?
Yeah, I think it was Dunkirk and Tenet. Okay, fine.
So I think he's still making.
Okay,
and I think
fine.
Oppenheimer is a Dunkirk. It's like a.
By the
this
way,
is good, and I think. Go ahead, sorry.
I do remember Tenet because that was the blue room and the red room.
Yeah.
And they're back. I got it.
Okay, yeah.
I got it. I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, for good reason.
I do remember Tenet.
Yeah. I remember the movie telling you not to think about it too hard. and that made me
It
mad.
pulled a Looper. A
Yeah,
little bit.
okay,
Looper's like,
Stop it.
well, yeah. If you think about time travel, you get all loopy. No. No.
Back to Oppenheimer.
So with Oppenheimer, here's the thing: it's a movie that shouldn't be entertaining. We're talking about a bunch of dudes sitting around making fucking a bomb, and you're like, okay. Yeah. But if there's one thing that Nolan can do, it's write a movie that it should not be entertaining, but it is.
Yeah.
He just knows how to like, all right, we're gonna splice in this other story here. We're gonna make this black and white. We're gonna do this. Excuse me. So I liked that. Fucking everybody was in this movie. Like, so many fucking actors are in this movie, because I went and saw it with Derrick. So many actors are in this movie that when they said, oh, we're going to go talk to Harry S. Truman, I actually leaned over and I'm like, all right, what white person is not in this movie?
Yeah.
Sure enough, I didn't even fucking think about Gary Oldman. I was like, oh, of course, fucking Gary Oldman's in this movie now. Fucking everybody was in that movie. So
it's got star power. Don't get me wrong. Even like I liked seeing Josh Hartnett.
I love Josh Hartnett, right?
He was one of the scientists. I think it was good to see him. I'm like, yes, please. Can I get more of that? Like it's good that like certain actors are not coming out of the woodwork again, but they're coming back to movies in a way that's like, oh man, I haven't seen that guy in a little while. It's good to see him in that, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
For me, I liked Oppenheimer's second half. Like Oppenheimer's kind of like three parts of his life where he's like got the early like thinking about like fancy lights spinning around or whatever, like those early years, and like that's fine, but like it isn't until like he's getting down and like making the bomb like that I find the movies like actually interesting, because there's like a race, and in history that race stops because eventually the war gets over, but like they still got to make the bomb anyways, right? So that's kind of I get the movie can't just be about the race to make the bomb, because that's not as interesting as like we're making it about the guy. So it needs to be about his life.
Yeah.
But I find where the movie, when I saw it, I liked it. I think a little bit more was the ending, where they try to pretty much like tarnish a good name, right? Like if you can do that to him, like then you hurt him like the best way or whatever. So like I see like Oppenheimer going through different like challenges throughout his life, like in each act, like he's climbing the next mountain, and like in the third act especially, it's like this big giant political hurdle that like he kind of makes, right, like or whatever. But I don't know, I think I liked it a lot when I watched it. I just don't know if I want to sit through it again and give it the attention again and be like, yeah, you know what, this is like really good. Because I think if I wanted to know more about Oppenheimer, I wouldn't go to this movie. I would just read like American Prometheus, or like I would read like the book that it's based off of or whatever. If I wanted more about Oppenheimer, I would have went for a documentary. I think I still felt like this movie was like good, and like it has a lot of good actors in it doing a lot of good performances, but I'm like, I just didn't like it as much like as much as I wanted to. Maybe, I don't know.
Do you think it's going to win Best Picture?
It better not. I feel like he's got better movies in him. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like what this movie is good. And you know what? Here's one thing I really liked about it is like, it's a movie that's like, you know what? No visual effects, no CGI or whatever. I'm like, good for you. Like, that's like, I feel like that's kind of like impossible now. Like, something's got to have a CGI something or whatever. So like, I don't know like to how much that's true or not or whatever. But so like, I like it. I think I'm still butthurt from like his other like failed attempts that I'm like, I don't like. I also didn't like Interstellar, but like that's just me. Like, so yeah, right. So it's like, so there's just
Interstellar.
Yeah, you think you like it, but like he only gets away with that because nobody knows what's inside a black hole. And like, I know he doesn't know either, and like he thinks he does. And like, I tell you what, your movie doesn't work. Because like the only way it works is if you know what's actually inside a black hole, which is what like specifically back in your movie, like whatever. Okay, so I'm just ripping into him. I think he made a decent movie. I think everyone's quick to praise this movie because it's not Tenet. That's just my final.
Okay.
Like I know he's got a Dunkirk in him. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Dunkirk, Prestige, and what was the other one you mentioned too? Inception. Like, not even counting the Batman movies, because Batman Begins is my favorite Batman movie. Like, he has a good body of work.
Memento,
Yeah.
even following his
Right.
first movie.
Memento is amazing.
I just don't think Oppenheimer is his best, and I've heard some people like they're like, oh
I
my
don't think
goodness,
it's his
that's
best
just
either. Let's get something straight.
Yeah.
I don't think it's his best movie either.
No,
but
no, it's not
I
his
think it's very
masterpiece.
good.
It's not. It's good. I like it. It's got a lot of star power. I think it's getting more than it needs, but also at the same time, like the subject material is important. Like, is it crazy to think that if without Barbie and the Barbenheimer like thing, I feel like Oppenheimer wouldn't have gotten what it did. Like honest, like what Oppenheimer gave me was like fine, but like everyone was also going to like double feature it with Barbie. Like it felt like when I was going there or whatever, and I'm like, is this just a thing to do? Like, did even people care about like what this guy did or like I don't know, like if it's just a thing that like I don't know. It felt like a big event. It felt like more than the movie. I don't know. Like what the movie is just the hype around it's more than just what the movie is.
That's kind of what he does, though. He makes events.
Fair. Okay, that's fair. Okay, like don't get me wrong,
And
but
it's
like
nice to see an event movie that's not Marvel or not like
or like some giant cinematic universe concluding or whatever. Yeah, I get that.
All right, let's move on.
Sorry, I don't mean to poo-poo
you're
it so
all right,
much.
you're all right.
Sorry, okay.
But Ashley loved it. You liked it.
Oh, talk about I'm the negative side of it. Talk about like why you liked it, and talk about like don't get me wrong. I liked certain actors like in it. I think Cillian Murphy's doing like a decent job. I don't know. Like here's the thing. Like I think he's a good actor, but like I don't think he's like knocking it out of the park. And like I even watched some Oppenheimer interviews like after, and it's like it's not like he's doing a good Oppenheimer. He's doing like I feel like he's just Cillian Murphy in that movie. Okay. Okay, I'm stopped. No negative talk now. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me
what
what's
did you
good
like about Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
It's really hard to make a movie interesting and good talking about something that I don't understand.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it. There was definitely a couple parts where I had to pause and I had to Google because I didn't understand what was happening, and that kind of sucked. Where it's like I wish they kind of dumbed it down even more. You definitely have to know the basics to go in, and I didn't know anything, but I did love it. I really did. I actually learned a lot. I actually did not know we even nuked Japan. That was new to me.
Oh my goodness.
Stuff like that.
Oh my
I
god.
had no idea. I knew
Yeah,
nothing.
twice,
Okay, actually, one thing I will say, I think probably you reminded me of that. One thing I thought was actually kind of hilarious in like the darkest way possible is when he's in the room and they're deciding where they're gonna nuke. Like, you think the audacity, the absolute arrogance of like America to be like, yeah, you know what, okay, and I'll like for his story, like I don't know a lot about it, but the time that they decided that they were gonna nuke Japan was close to surrender. Like they were gonna surrender, and Russia, who was finishing things up in Germany, was like, okay, like look, once we're done here, we're gonna go over there. So like, even if they didn't surrender and they're like, no, to the last man, Russia's coming, bro. Like you guys are done. Like it's over. The war's over. But like Truman's like, well, we've got these bombs, and like I'm the man. Like I'm the man. So we're gonna blow them up, right? And like that whole like we've got these toys, we're gonna just assert our dominance on the world stage. Like, let alone do it twice. Like they didn't need to do it ever, right? And they chose to. And I think that like that movie, like or like that room meeting or whatever, that is like that's a tiny fraction of like Doctor Strangelove's whole like thing, right? So like good job, Nolan. Like I'll go watch Doctor Strangelove and How I Learned How to Start Loving the Bomb or whatever. Like that movie's like I think got it better in a way. I don't know. Like not that he was going for satire like that movie was or whatever, but like that moment where they're like deciding where they're gonna bomb, I think is kind of actually was really heartbreaking and like in a kind of like a funny kind of way. And like I don't know. There's nothing you can do but laugh. And that's also another sad thing too. It's like, man, like a lot of innocent people died.
Yeah.
And
well, a lot of people, innocent
war.
people died over there too.
Yeah. I know. I get that. But like, okay, I don't think nukes were ever the answer.
No.
So like to make one, like again, like I know that it needed to happen because if it doesn't happen, somebody else is going to make it. But now everybody's got them, right? So it's like it's this thing that happened in history. But are nukes really a good thing? Like, I don't know what this movie's telling me. Like if you're going to make something that's ultimately evil, people are going to try to take it from you. Like,
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Moving on, a
Yeah.
movie also
should
weirdly
cut that.
about nuclear bombs, so
Oh.
that's why a nice little segue.
Oh, good segue.
Let's talk about Godzilla -1.
Oh, good segue. Yeah, we did. Okay, yeah. What do you want to know? Did you guys see it?
I saw it with you.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
you didn't see Godzilla.
You didn't
No,
see it.
no, no.
Okay.
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 So the original Godzilla, apparently an analogy for the nuclear bomb in Japan.
Yeah, that's
the
good.
whole- So
Yeah.
just
And
this thing
good
that's
segue, yeah.
destroying cities for no fucking reason. Like,
Yeah.
so Godzilla -1. I really liked it. I
Yeah.
thought it was very fun. I would probably would have not watched this movie if it wasn't for you.
Oh yeah.
You were just like, hey, going to see Godzilla. You want to come? I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I thought the story is so fucking bizarre because it's like this. It's about this kamikaze pilot who decides not to commit suicide. And is shunned for it. So he goes back home. He just opened the fucking package.
I was waiting for you to talk.
She's
Go
got a
ahead.
candy.
So
She-
he
just
open it.
It's opened.
Just eat it. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right,
It's
You're
in
not
your
gonna
head
hear me
candy.
eat it.
All right. I hear you.
Don't chew
No,
on
I'm
the
playing.
microphone. Yeah, don't chew on the mic.
So it's about this kamikaze pilot who decides not to commit suicide and is shunned for it. So he goes home and he ends up meeting this girl who's like homeless, who has a baby who's not hers. It was just because this town got bombed and it's just all like survivors.
Yeah.
So he lets them into his house and they just don't leave, but it becomes like, and then like years later, they're just like this weird family.
Yeah, it's like a mixed mash. of
Yeah.
fam-
Or like they're not a thing. They don't,
No.
I
Well,
don't think they have sex with
No,
I don't
no,
think
no,
bang
they
or
don't.
anything.
They don't, or at least they don't show it. But like, it's implied that he's kind of being very respectful of her, and there's a point where she realizes she has to leave, even because it's like, look, if you're not going to pursue me, like in a relationship, like we pretty much have a family already. Like, there's a kid, I'm here. Like, he doesn't go for that, so she like was like, well, I'm gonna have to start working to like afford my own spot or whatever. There's like a lot of like relationship drama. That's actually not bad, like between the two of them.
It's
I was
so
like impressive.
strange.
Yeah.
It's so like I'm a big fan of this like story, but the whole like the plot is like, so when he comes in at the very beginning and he decides not to commit suicide, he's on this island, this military base. It's on an island, and Godzilla shows up and kills everybody, and he's the last man standing, and everybody's like, "What the fuck was it?" And he's like, "I don't know." And then Godzilla shows up again, and he's like, "Oh, I know what this is." So he goes to like join the fight against Godzilla, and that's like, so that's how he gets involved. But of course she doesn't want him to go because you're right, they started this family even though they're not in a relationship. It's such a fucking it's such an interesting movie.
Yeah.
Like for a Godzilla movie, I'm like, I think it was you who said it on our way out. You were like, I don't know like how, but like it's like the best possible version of a Godzilla movie. That's all they made. They just strive to make the best Godzilla movie they could. They're not making the best movie ever. That's not what they're going for.
No,
It's just
no.
the best Godzilla movie they could.
Yeah.
And I think they succeeded.
Yeah,
personally.
I highly agree with that because it's like I think like most Godzilla movies are like it is the drama between the people on the ground. Like let's face it, like Godzilla isn't front and center for most of like your typical Godzilla movies. He's kind of like this backdrop, like natural disaster thing, and the people are kind of reeling from that, right? But with this, there's also the whole air of like World War II just ended, so like Japan is trying to find themselves again, and these characters are trying to find themselves again, and in that, like the fact that he's a kamikaze pilot, I think what's really rewarding throughout it is he's struggling to kind of find himself again and find his like purpose, but fighting Godzilla seems to be his purpose. Either way, towards the end of it, I'm not going to spoil it, but like that whole kamikaze like shunning thing, there's actually a really good moment where the people who have formed together to like fight Godzilla again realize that sending kamikaze pilots out isn't like a good thing, and like obviously it's not a good thing now, right? Like retrospectively, but I feel like there's like an understanding. Obviously, like this giant event, this Godzilla is bringing people together, but you get to kind of witness the process of all that happening and unfolding, and you feel like you're on the hunt for Godzilla too. Like you're in the boat. Like especially like there's a point where the guy for work, before even Godzilla becomes a factor in all this, that he's on like a wood boat looking for like war mines to like take out or whatever and stuff like that, right? And they encounter him then, and there's this moment, and like people have said this too, like this movie seems to be channeling in this scene specifically like something out of Jaws, where like you have a couple of men on this dinky little boat encountering some great beast in the sea, and it's literally, this time it's Godzilla. There's this scene in this movie where Godzilla is literally chasing them down with like his big like lifeless eyes like sticking out of the water, like coming like right at their like wood tiny little like dinky boat. I felt like I was on the boat. I felt like, I'm like, dude, he is too close to you guys. You got to get out of there, right? Like the whole time. And like, not just that time. There's other times where when they encounter Godzilla, you feel Godzilla, or like you can like, you know what his presence is like, and you can see his scale. You feel his menace or whatever. He's clearly the villain in this, but it's well done. It's well done.
No, I liked it. I agree with you.
That's well done.
No, it was fun. Let's talk about. You know what? It's a movie I didn't see. And I believe I'm assuming you didn't see either.
Oh no.
Zone of Interest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was gonna go with you. It was actually my idea to go to the movies that day.
Oh yeah.
But it was only playing at 4 in the afternoon.
It sucked,
for whatever
dude.
reason. I work until 5.
Yeah,
I'm like, if I could get off work, I'll go. And I just couldn't fucking get off work.
Yeah, I left early.
I should have left early.
That's
go
okay,
ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Zone of Interest. Okay. So if those of you who don't know anything about it, nothing. Okay. It's the family of the guy who is in charge of Auschwitz, basically, and we follow the family, but they're living at the camp. So we're mostly exposed to them living in this house, and they have like a garden, which is actually really lush, like in full, and you get kind of like a slice of life from this family. But you also get like things like the sounds from like the camp and the smokestacks, and there's meetings that take place in the house where they're talking about like the ovens and how they work and how you're supposed to be putting people in while you're cleaning this half and stuff. Like, it's a lot of like just, if you were just there, fly on the wall kind of things. But the whole time you're thinking, man, like they're cooking these people in ovens like this whole time. Like,
what is this called?
So it's Zone of Interest. It's
Zone of Interest.
Zone of Interest. I don't know particularly why it's called that. I should maybe have read into it more. But it's during the war. Like, it's a German family, and they're happy to be there.
Yeah.
But like it's coming. Like, like this isn't like sustainable. But they're playing it off like they're like, oh, where are we gonna vacation like next summer, like stuff like that. Look at all my like azaleas. Look at all like the garden and or whatever. And like the whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm like there's shots of them dumping ashes of human remains everywhere. Like, no wonder like things are so lush and fertile. Like is that like, I don't like, I wasn't even thinking that like are you like benefiting from all of like the carbon that's going out in the air, like to like have like all this like is this lush garden a result of like all the dead people, like, or whatever? So there's a lot of things it's not giving you, and what it's giving you is like sounds, and it's giving you like the families like peeking out the window to see what's going on because they heard something or whatever. But like your brain and history fills in the rest of the pieces.
Yeah, which is nice that you don't have to see it to understand.
Yeah, and I will say, so it's like, it's kind of
see it, right?
Yeah, no, and you don't need to. Like, I think so. It's like to compare it to, I would say, like a Schindler's List. I could say this is like a modern version of Schindler's List, but I also think it's an as effective, if not sometimes maybe more effective. It's like what you don't see. Because like, if you've seen Schindler's List, did you see that one? Like, they got like the Jews running around naked and stuff like that. Like, that didn't do any of that. It didn't need to, right? Like, you get it from, because like the Germans too. Like, not all the Germans were like, yeah, Nazis, kill them all. Like, people had conflicting views, like even amongst the German people. So like, that's even covered in this too, because people come and visit, other family members come to visit, and like they don't stick around in it, and like for good reason, right? Like, so it's like oh, okay, so what, right? So that's what's happening. Okay, so like, I don't know. I think like it's a cool exploration of what we already kind of know is bad, like a lot bad, but I don't know. It was certainly, it was a very interesting watch. I would revisit it, not right away, but I would recommend it to people, like, if you like that sort of thing. Obviously the subject matter is like very brutal, like war is terrible, like, and there's a lot of that. So
we were talking about it after you saw it, and you said you compared it to Stanley Kubrick. You're like, this is a very modern Like if Stanley Kubrick was still alive, this is the movie he'd be making.
And I think that's, to me, that's Jonathan Glazer. Like, I haven't seen too many of his movies, but this one and even Under the Skin are two movies that if Kubrick was still making movies now, the only person that comes close to what he's doing is this guy. And it's just, and you know what it is? I'll spoil this part a little bit. 2001 Space Odyssey opens with the black screen. There's just music or whatever. Zone of Interest does that too.
Oh.
And that was something, I don't know if that's a spoiler or whatever. Heads up, there's just going to be music for a little bit and no anything. Yeah. It's kind of almost like, I feel like it's almost theatrical. It's getting you kind of prepped for a movie.
This is very much a movie about sound.
Yeah, 100%. Because it is that. I think I don't know what this movie's nominated for when it comes to sound, but if it's not nominated for sound, it should be, because a lot of what this movie's doing is through its sound. It's heavy lifting through sound.
All right. Next on the list, Dumb Money. Ashley, this was yours. What do you think?
I loved it. I loved everything about it. I did not know this happened. I was completely... I fucking missed all this.
I love that it actually happened in real life. I think that's so cool. That's like Robin Hood, but what? Yeah.
Sorry. It's bugging me that I'm on the right. Oh. All right, I feel better about this. Go ahead.
Yeah,
because usually I'm usually on microphone 1, so I'm always on the left.
See, we're back to that, but they did it in a way that Blackberry did it, where it was interesting the whole time.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I have this problem with the main character because I saw him a long time ago and he was a mute in the movie.
Oh,
and I
Sunshine.
Still can't look at him the same. But I honestly really, really enjoyed it. I did not know what it was about. Again, I went in completely blind. I thought it was great.
I thought it was great too. It's actually funny you were talking about Paul Dano. We just watched last weekend. They did a new version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. With Donald Glover and I unfortunately don't know the girl's name. It's like Myra Erskine or something.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But she's amazing. They're both amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
But Paul Dano plays their neighbor, but he's like the hot guy that she has a crush on.
Oh.
And it's my wife was like, "Who the fuck is that guy?" And I was like, "That's the fucking guy from Dumb Money." And she was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I know." I just like that he always plays this kind of nerdy, he was in Little Miss Sunshine. He plays the Riddler.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And all of a sudden he's in this movie and he's kind of a good looking
I can't
divorcee.
see him like that.
But it's weird because he's just a good looking divorcee. He's got that nice suit. You know what I mean? He's just
he's well dressed.
He's watching he's walking the dog. He's oh, it's just a good looking neighbor. I don't know. But anyway, so sorry. Going back, did you see? So you saw Dumb Money?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, you did not?
But
Okay.
I know the events of how they a lot of rich people were upset by how the stock market was
they
played
crashed
with
it.
Yeah.
But they weren't supposed to do that, and they accidentally. Honestly, I think they accidentally did it.
Oh, 100%. I think it was just he was. What the fuck is going on up there? What is my wife doing up there?
I don't know.
I don't know.
She's getting rough. She's getting rough.
Loud.
I don't know if that actually.
Imagine she's being imagine something's going on. We're just making fun of her.
She fell.
Fly down up there.
Yeah, she fell.
There's a home invader.
Yeah, I definitely there was a lot of interest. Again, they dumbed it down for me, which was really, really nice. Where I'm like, oh, I don't know a thing about the stock market. I went in blind again, so I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Stock market. I don't know a fucking thing.
It was GameStop. Was just people were buying shares of GameStop, making it go
so
up
a
and up.
YouTuber. Yeah. Well, you can go ahead. You probably explain it better than I could.
Okay. All right. It's about this YouTuber who loves the GameStop stock. He just is in love with it for no real fucking reason. He just thinks it's worth something. Where
it's nothing. It's
not
worth nothing.
Anybody who looks, the opening of the movie is him telling his Wall Street buddy that he just invested $50,000 in this stock. And his Wall Street buddy's like, you're fucking hilarious. No, seriously, why'd you invest in? And he's like, I invested in GameStop. And he's like, why? Why the fuck would you do that? And it's just
but he's a YouTuber, has no followers, and he tells his followers.
Yeah, but he shows them his these are why I think, these are my returns, these are where I think it's going. This is why I think it's a big fucking stock.
Okay.
But it convinces people
it's so cheap.
Yeah, it convinces people maybe it is a good stock. So all these people that are following him start buying it, and then they tell their friends who start buying it, who tell their friends who start buying it. And it becomes this thing where it crashes the stock market.
Because it wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It's not normal for that to happen. That should have never happened.
Yeah.
And so it sunk a lot of businesses. And then the one, they were like, well, you have to pay us to pay out all these people. And he's like, sorry, are you asking me for like $2 billion? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, what? And so now all these companies are trying to figure out.
So it's these investment firms. So
what do we do?
Unfortunately, they explain it in the movie, and I can't explain it right now. I don't know enough about finance, but it has to do with like they buy companies that are going under, and they like pretty much butcher them to make a profit for themselves.
I see.
They like pretty much like they suck all the blood out of them like a vampire,
Right, okay.
and they like leave them with nothing, and then they like profit off of it. So these investment firms do to like these like the Blockbusters of the world. You know what I mean? Well, that's what they're doing. All these investment firms invest in GameStop because they're like, oh, it's dying. We're going to make so much money off of this.
People buy all their video games online.
Yeah.
We buy all the music on our phones.
100%. It's like, it is a dying, the fact that it's still a thing is like crazy. But then this happens where the stock goes up and all these investment firms get fucked. Right. So it's like all of these guys that are like, what the fuck are we going to do? It's just, I don't know. It's like, because you were talking about it earlier. The big theme in the last like 2 years has been eat the rich. It's been like maybe the last 5 years. It's been a big fucking topic in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And this is just a great version of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, like just to bring you to scale, like one of them put in like a couple of $1,000 and she made like almost 100,000. One of them, the guy put in 50,000. He cashed out with like 37 million. Stuff like that. Like this is not like haha money. This is like the chicks put in 10 grand
money.
and they made 300. It's
good
like
money. Yeah.
Holy shit.
What actually it sounds like I would really like this movie only because to me when I was first told about the stock market and tried to learn it, it felt made up. It felt not real. And for something like this to happen in real life and then for it to be dramatic enough that they make a movie out of it. Yeah. Like it just proves to me that first of all, if all of us were able to collectively agree on something, a lot of change could happen. Yeah, right? You're talking about revolution, right? So
and that's what it is.
Yeah, stock market, it would never happen again now.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's things in place. There's a lot of butthurt people who wanted their money back or whatever. Yeah. Don't spoil it for me.
No,
but like,
no. That's,
well, like I'm gonna watch it because I want to know like if they're gonna ask him for $2 billion or whatever. I'd be like, F you, bro. Like I just had good intentions. What are you talking about? Yeah. But my question is like, did he have good intentions in real life? And like,
I think so.
I'm curious.
I think so too.
And
he even says because the whole. I mean.
If he's got a YouTube videos, right?
He does get arrested for it.
Oh, what?
Because it's technically you're tampering with like.
You weren't supposed to do that.
It's like you're trying to change things. It's like it's almost like insider trading, almost a little bit. You're like forcing. It was like this thing. Elon Musk a couple of years ago sent out this tweet that was like, "I think this company is going to be huge," and everybody invested in this company. And they end up going after Elon Musk for being like, why the fuck did you say that? Yeah. And he was like, I was just fucking saying it. I don't like, I didn't realize so many people would follow what I was saying. It's kind of the same idea, right? Where it's like,
but like,
so he has to explain himself like, did you, like, why were you so fucking invested in GameStop? Yeah. And he has to explain it. So, sorry, that's all. That's all.
Honestly,
amazing. Because, like, that's it. Oh, sorry.
I honestly do feel like he was genuine. I really do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In
that's
that
amazing.
scene, you're like, oh, he was.
Especially because, again, I'm not spoiling anything. All I will spoil is the last line of the movie. Because I love the relationship between him and his wife as well. It's like a very important relationship in the movie.
Cool.
It's Paul Dano and Shailene Woodley plays his wife.
Oh, nice.
And they're not wealthy, but like the fact that he's like, I got $30 million technically, and she's like, cash out, and he's like, but I could get more, and that's the whole thing. Yeah. But there's this one line at the very end where she's like, "You are a fucking gangster," and I loved it. I loved it. Like it's just it's the perfect way to end this movie. You are a fucking gangster.
But what he does for it, that's the end of the movie.
He does a particular thing at the very end, and it's just like, oh shit.
Yeah, okay, good.
But I'll watch it.
I'm gonna check it out. That sounds good.
It's very much about like what makes it so good is it's not just about him. It's about all of the other people that also invested. Like it also follows
like
maybe
five
or six characters
cool
that also invest, and they are like university students who have no money.
Yeah,
there's a person who's like $40,000 in debt.
One of them works at GameStop.
Yeah, one of them works at GameStop. Who's like he's got $100 in the bank. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's like we're following people that like people that it's almost like I fucking know them. Like I've fucking met these people before.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? And that's what makes it so.
Just watch
so
it. It was
good.
really good.
It's a nice
I
little
liked it.
underdog story.
Yeah, good.
So that was a fucking excellent movie. Another movie. You know what? We're kind of on the subject. Not really. Let's fucking throw it out there. I really liked Air. Can we talk about Air?
I didn't
Loved
see it. Yeah, I didn't see it.
Air.
I've heard good things though. Yeah.
I loved it. I loved everything there is about it. This is maybe one of my favorite movies of the year.
Me too. It's my top 3. It was my favorite movie for a long time, and then another movie bumped it off. But for a movie that's about Michael, I was gonna say Michael Jackson. Not true. No, for a movie that's about Michael Jordan, to not even show Michael Jordan, it's ballsy. It's ballsy. You see it from behind. That's it.
You don't even see
That's
him.
it. There's one scene, but he's young, right? He's like super young.
It's not about him though.
Because he's arrogant, so he like shakes the guy's hand from behind, kind of like fuck off, because he doesn't want to be there. And that's the only scene is he's kind of like shaking the hand, but he's looking forward. But yeah, it's like, ooh, like I love they didn't show his face. I like that.
Agreed. So the movie, for people who don't know, it's about the making of the Air Jordan shoe.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it's about.
I did not know anything, and I learned so much.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I had no idea about anything like this.
Agreed.
So it was super cool. I'm not going to say anything.
Oh,
because I
okay.
want you to say, honestly, watch it. This is your number one to watch.
Okay, yeah,
It's good.
I'm into it. Like I like the idea, and I like that there's been a lot of praise for it, like unanimously. I don't think I've heard anyone be like, I didn't like it. So it's like it seems like there's something good there. It's just I don't know if I need movies about all of the brands ever, right? So like,
do you think I give a shit about the brand? Do you think I give a shit about basketball? I don't. I'm not a sports person. I'm a movie guy.
Yeah.
This is a good fucking movie about something that I don't give a shit about.
Okay.
I think it's a really good movie. I apologize.
Loved Matt Damon.
No,
he did fantastic in this movie.
And Matt Damon and Ben Affleck wrote it, if I'm not mistaken, and Ben Affleck directed
Ben Affleck did direct it. I didn't know that until
And
recently.
Ben Affleck's fucking excellent in it as like the. And then I was like Danny Castellano, but from the Mindy Project. You ever watched Mindy Project?
Oh, I know that guy. He played Mr. Zaz in the.
Oh, he did play Mr. Zaz
Is that right?
in Harley Quinn, but the Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
The
Suicide
Chris
Squad
Messina. There it is.
Yeah.
Fucking thank you.
Okay.
He is so fucking good as Michael Jordan's agent.
Oh, okay.
Like such a good because the movie, without spoiling anything, it's very much about, okay, we need to make this product. We need to get Michael Jordan on board, but he won't do it. So it's very much about them trying to get his mom to say yes. Because if his mama says yes, then he's gonna do it. You see what I'm saying?
But he's only ever worn Adidas shoes his whole career, so it's like we have to switch him to Nike, but Nike is broke. So it's like, how do we now? And that's what the movie's about: is him trying to like persuade him to go from what he loves and who's given him everything. Yeah. And it's like, come to us, man. And the mom she did good. Because the mom, which sucks for them, because Jordan might have just accepted what they given, but the mom, she knows what's best for her baby, and she was like, no, we're gonna up it more. And they were like, shit. The movie is fantastic. I loved it.
I liked it a lot. And you know what? Another Chris Tucker comes in as like a supporting role, and he's I forgot how much I love Chris Tucker.
He's pretty good.
For not a main character,
he's
just a side character that was in there a couple of times. Fantastic.
It's okay. He's good when he's there. I even too, is it Silver Linings? He's in there. He's like not a throwaway character, but he's like a minor character.
Isn't that him?
I love that movie.
Yeah, like again, like it's good to see that he's around still too. So that's good. I like that. I like to see him.
I definitely think if it's a movie about a shoe, I loved it.
Yeah, I'll check it eventually. Like I'm
it.
reluctant still. Like don't get me wrong, I think it looks great and like I hear good things, so I will get to it, but it's not.
I see what you're saying.
Easy watch.
It's a movie where like I don't know, because there are some movies that are like that where it's like I don't really care enough. I'm not gonna watch it.
But if it's
I liked it. I think she liked it.
I learned a lot.
I think
you don't know.
Especially if the stakes are high, right? Like it sounds like, especially like we know Nike today is the successful company that it is, but at a certain point in its career, it might have went under if not for this bold choice or whatever. It sounds like it's probably a nail biter.
Yeah, I just didn't know what the outcome was.
That's like, also fun
for society,
right?
Should I say, right?
Well, we all get comfy shoes.
Yeah.
At
I actually have never worn them. They're too expensive for me. I don't play sports. For me just to have them.
No, me neither. think. I don't watch basketball, so like the
Yeah,
fact
I
that
have
I'm even
no
in this movie is
idea.
crazy. That's why I like it. I
I
don't
feel
know.
like you kind of at least need to play basketball or like
No,
basketball.
you don't even really need to know anything about
Now it's a
basketball.
staple to look cool. Yeah.
But, like,
Oh,
even,
yeah.
like-
the
but
shoes, I mean. Like, I feel like if I was going to wear the shoes, I would need to at least, like, at least practice.
That's what
I
I'm
don't know.
saying. I would have to at least play a sport.
But there's even a whole thing where it's like the shoes have to be this color because if not, you'll get fined. There's like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
in
Like
the
there's just
NBA.
little things like that where it's like,
Fined
oh,
by-
I didn't
oh,
know
yeah.
that. But like,
Oh, yeah?
this also takes place in the 90s. Oh, 90s or
I'm not
80s?
sure.
I'm not really even sure. I think it's the 80s, but it could be the early 90s. But either way,
Okay.
it's good. I
right.
recommend it.
Yeah.
A movie I didn't watch. I don't know. The Sound of Freedom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was me.
No. Here's the thing. I've only heard good things.
Yeah.
When this movie came out, it was a fucking drop. That was a fucking nuke. All right.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot of people were like, "What is this movie?" Like,
Oh, I think our sister went to see
yeah,
it. Yeah.
a lot of people that I know went and saw it. I went to Saskatchewan with my wife, and everybody there was like, "Tell me you saw this fucking movie. You're the movie guy." And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
"I really didn't." So,
Oh no,
Derrick,
okay.
go ahead. I'd love to hear about it.
What I will say, it's about okay. So you've got your main character. It's played by Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, played by
and
Jesus.
Jesus himself is playing. Yeah, no, but he's playing pretty much like a human trafficking like justice bringer, like a lawgiver or whatever, right? So he's kind of got the very uncomfortable task of like processing people who have been trafficked, and like you kind of through his experiences, and it's based off of the actual guy that had did this like really big bust, but it's like his experiences of just doing that. It gets really that would be really taxing, I think, on a soul, not even like a person or like just having to process that much heartbreak and that much like sadness. It would be very taxing, and they do a good job of that. But you get kind of like, I don't want to say it's not like Man on Fire is. Man on Fire is like a really good movie, and this is like channeling its like spirit, not its like style. So like you do get like a point where there's like a sister and a brother who get separated. You see that, and then I think it's the sister encounters the like Jesus, like the Jim Caviezel character, who's like, you have to rescue my brother, or it's the other way around, I forget already, but he eventually does that. He does save them, and it leads him down like a path of like, look, I can go in deeper to bust a bigger like operation, but there's a point where even his like authorities, like his seniors or whatever, won't back him, and he's like, I have to do it anyways. So it's like, it's kind of like this, I don't want to say it's like a revenge movie or anything, but like this man is around so much evil, he has to go deeper into the evil for these, like, for people to be like free, like, and like, so pretty much what it does is he operates through people who he knows through human trafficking. He operates a really big sting that like disrupts like a huge trafficking operation, and it's just kind of that systematic, like you see him kind of like hiring a group of guys. It's a very much like a heist movie, almost like a little bit, where like if we're gonna operate, right, exactly, yeah. And like you're like, dude, we're on board. Like again, I felt like I was included. I'm like part of the team. Stuff's heavy, but like the outcome is good. Like these people get to like not be trafficked like in this way, right?
Sure,
So
yeah.
and I get it. Like right now, like everything's big. Like the Epstein Island thing. Like, is it real? The list of people we don't know. Like I do think that there's people that have always just done like really weird, like twisted shit, and like this movie's exploring just how like that stuff doesn't like get to last around, like, or stay around forever, like justice does come. So
Yeah.
I like, and yes, there's Christian overtones. I think it was made through Angel Studios, or like it's like a Christian movie, if you will, or whatever. But I think it's really sweet that it like it's rejuvenating the box office. It's also, I think, a lot of like what like religion and like movies do. Not saying that movies is a religion, but like we both agree that like getting together and like going to do something, like having to go see a movie, is something that's worth doing, and I like that overlap too, or whatever, right? So it's like, I don't know, it's good, it's worth it. It is heavy though. I'm not gonna like be like, yeah, watch this, because there's like, it's, the topic is human trafficking, and it's trafficking children, so it's like it's heavy, but
Yeah.
Okay. I wish I saw it. I apologize.
don't worry. Yeah, you don't have to apologize to me. Check it out when you can, if you want that sort of thing. Like, it, like, in reality, he did do that sting, and he did bust that up. Like the guy, you could like, he's given talks like that's probably also good. Like to hear like maybe what he went through or whatever. Like it's just as good, but it's worth a watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Yep.
Weird segue. We're going from human trafficking to a kids movie.
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
Here's the thing. So this movie, so Air was number one for a long time, and then this movie tied it for a while, and then and then there was another for me. Then there was another movie that beat it, but I really liked Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh,
or wait, sorry, is it Across?
It's Across the Spider-Verse. Into
Across the Spider-Verse.
I really liked Into the Spider-Verse too.
Not so much.
No. Did you see Across? Did you see Across? Okay.
You didn't like it?
No.
All right.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna say.
I hope they do a DVD box with Ashley Candace. No.
No. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Here's the thing. I think what it's trying to do is be Empire, and what it's doing is actually being Matrix Reloaded. Now follow me here. Into the Spider-Verse is a perfect movie. It doesn't actually need anything else.
Agreed.
Okay.
I loved the
right.
I loved it.
I think everything you needed to say in that movie is boiled down into its essence. Anything you do after that is just a cherry on top. So this is what Across the Spider-Verse is. It's an embellishment of what was good about what happened before. I think the fact that they're building up this like spider like army or whatever is like cool, that it's a comic book like reference a lot of the time, but like the fact that it leaves with a cliffhanger, the fact that it leaves like with a lot of things like kind of up in the air still, it's doing what Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions did, whereas it promised a sequel or like a trilogy, but it's actually like one movie and then two movies, which is kind of what this is doing. Like we had Into the Spider-Verse, and yes, this is a continuation, but this is clearly like a part one, which was originally slated as a part one, and then they ditched that title to be Across and Beyond or whatever, right? So it's like you have this kind of like one bigger movie that is like they broke in half, and I feel is like kind of an incomplete. Like I do agree with you. Yeah, it's an incomplete.
So here's the thing. So I went in. I didn't actually know it was a part one. I don't know why. I probably knew it back in the day. I fucking forgot it. Yeah. It wasn't until a particular like plot twist happened at the end that I was just like, oh, there's no way they're wrapping this fucking shit up. But I do think that, and that's my problem with the movie. In all honesty, that's the one problem I have is it's not a complete movie. It's act 1 and 2 of a movie. Yeah. Which I think is fucking bonkers. That the next movie is just going to be Act 3 of a movie, because that's 100% all they have left. Yeah, well, is take down big bads. That's all they got left. No, so it's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Actually, so here's my prediction. This is just a theory I have, but okay. So do you remember at the end of Venom? Yeah. Okay, the end of Venom has a cut sequence to Into the Spider-Verse, and there's a very, very specific little yellow box that says "Meanwhile" above it. Right? I don't know. This is my theory that like all the Spider-Verse like movies are connected, so Venom, a live action universe, shares a universe with the Into the Spider-Verse, like, or like because they're multiverse, they could cross over. Okay. If Beyond the Spider-Verse doesn't have Roger Rabbit like live action Spider-Man with cartoon Spider-Man, they did it wrong. Yeah, I'm just saying. I love it. Like, it'd be amazing. Like, give me what the Spider Horse. The spider buggy that's a real like life thing. Like you guys are scraping the bottom of the barrel now. If I don't have Tom Holland in Beyond the Spider-Verse, you did it wrong.
It's true. Let's get some Tobey Maguire. Let's get some Andrew.
Yeah, right.
Like Tobey Maguire.
Did they show him in live action?
They did.
They showed the scene
with
of
the
like
Bens,
all the Bens dying, and it showed Tobey Maguire. And then it showed Tom Holland in it.
So then that just proves my point.
I
that,
just
like,
didn't see
if they don't live action, like, because even like Donald Glover's in it, like as the Prowler,
which I love because he was in Homecoming as Aaron Morales.
Yeah, right.
So like that makes sense. Yeah, he'd be the Prowler.
So like the movies are already like dancing around it. So it's like if they don't unleash it, like what are you waiting for? Yeah. Like what are you waiting for? So like that's maybe my big message to Across the Spider-Verse is good try. Like it's phenomenal. It looks great, but like okay, like whatever you had to say, I feel like you guys stretched it thin and you gave like Spider-Man 2099 like this crazy like villain arc that he doesn't need if really all the other Spider-Men of all the other multiverses are in on the plot except you, Miles. Like you're on the anomaly that needs to not be here. Like I feel like he's just an obstacle and not like enough of a good villain. Like I feel like there needed to be some sort of fight at the end, and it should be with the Spot. Like he's clearly the better villain. Like he's so well developed and so amazing that I'm sure he'll be more important like in the next movie. But I don't know. I think whatever they did for this, it's fine. It's just it could have been one movie probably still. I think they stretched it thinner to cash in, I think. So.
All right, well, that was the negative version.
Sorry, yeah, that's all.
This is where it gets the best blowjob it's ever gotten in its life.
Okay, suck
that movie was fucking spectacular.
Okay, visually, yes.
Okay, I loved the second she goes into the art gallery and she fights the vulture and he looks like Leonardo da Vinci fucking drawings. I'm like, I didn't even fucking realize what animation could do. Like, I never even thought about it. And don't get me wrong, the first one kind of did it on a smaller scale. This movie took that to a whole fucking new level. It's like, whatever you want to do in animation, you could do. Punk Spider-Man shows up, and he's in fucking he's choppy and shit, because he's punk. It's like his guitar is a different fucking frame rate than he... Like, I'm loving it. I love so much about this movie. I know you were saying you don't like... Spider-Man 2099 is the villain. I'm trying to think of his name. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm so excited about this movie.
Oscar Isaac?
No, I know Oscar Isaac. I'm trying to think of his...
It's Miguel O'Hara.
Thank you. I think he's a great villain. I love the idea where it's like, no, you're an anomaly. I have to fucking take... I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Gwen Stacy's a fucking great character.
Yeah.
I loved where it ends up. There's so much about it that I'm a huge fan of. The only thing that pisses me off is the fact that it's a part one. And you are right. They could have probably just add another half an hour and finish this movie, because it really is. You're only leaving Act 3. It's driving crazy.
True.
But you're right. The Spot is a fucking excellent villain. I love the fact that he was in the first one in quotations.
Not
really, but it does tie into the first one a little bit.
I like that. Yeah, it's actually a very loose connection, which is I'm okay with. Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm not even that butthurt about it being a part one. I feel like the stakes to get it where it needs to be, like where we're at, I love it. I love where that cliffhanger is. Yeah. So it's like, because like even, look, I like that it is more of like Ghost Spider or Gwen Stacy's like kind of like her bit, and like we get a little bit more kind of like her story. Yeah. Whereas when she's coming to Miles, like I'm feeling for her as much as I am for Miles, like in that situation. Sure. So I think they did their relationship really well. I like their chemistry. I like where that's gonna go.
I liked him with Peter J. Parker. I thought that was a great little. And he has a kid now. I loved that. Yeah. It's very much a movie about, with Miles Morales at least. It's very much a movie about people telling him what to do, and him finally being like, no, I'm going to do my own thing, which is exactly what he says at the very end. Yeah. But no, fuck it. I liked that personally. Yeah.
But like that was also the first movie, and that's my problem. I think, because it's like, no, you're not ready, buddy. You're going to have to stay here and listen to your dad monologue through the door to you or whatever.
Well,
right?
that movie's very much more about are you ready to be Spider-Man?
Yeah, well, train him. Like, where was the montage? You guys were so busy. That's okay. That's my other beef, but like, we don't have to get into that right now. I love Into the Spider-Verse, but it's not the best Spider-Man movie, despite what everyone thinks. And like, I think Across the Spider-Verse is a subsequent sequel. It's not better than it. It does go for, well, fuck it, we can do it. Let's do it. But I'm like, do I need Leonardo da Vinci?
Yes, it's so fucking cool.
You know what I need more? I need Tom Holland.
No, that's such a weird thing
No.
need.
Oh, that's weird.
No,
that's weird. Okay,
let's fucking. Why go to Marvel? Like, why go there? Why do we need more Marvel?
Well, okay.
Let's fucking do something interesting with this.
Okay, well,
which
like
is
Craven?
What they did. They did so much. With this, that I don't know. I love just even the little things. I love Andy Samberg as the '90s Scarlet Spider, where he's just so sad.
That's funny.
It's just the dumbest things. I love it. I think it's such an interesting movie.
Okay, that's good.
We're getting heated.
That's fine.
That's it. I'm done with Spider-Verse.
Okay.
I loved it, but I just wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Okay. What do you have to say about it, Spider-Verse? Tell me. Back me up here.
Literally everything about it.
Quote. No. End quote.
I hate cartoon movies. I hate to be continued movies. I hate everything.
Well, it's all that.
I felt like this movie had no point. Like even the villain was the Spot, and he didn't even realize what he could do until the very end. So the whole movie was stupid. I'm good.
Okay.
Are you gonna go see the Beyond
No.
Beyond the Spider?
No.
What?
Hell
I
no.
didn't even see the first one. I don't
Hell
care.
Oh well, you should actually just watch Into
No.
the
The
Spider.
The first one's actually pretty good.
You
You
How
should
about
watch
you
that one.
watch Air, and then I'll watch that.
I'll get back to you on that. Is that
No,
all right?
I
no,
highly doubt you will.
I'll watch it, but then I'll be like, yo, I watched Air. Did you watch
You
that
better
one?
fucking message me with the credits starting of Air. Then I will start Spider-Man. I swear to
Into
God.
the Spider-Verse?
You heard it first. I
Yeah.
will start it.
Okay.
If you watch Air. I'm going to hate you, but if you watch Air, I will watch
Well, I'm
it.
gonna watch Air. I'll watch it. No, I'm gonna watch. I'll watch Air. I'll bump it up even. I'll bump Air up before Dumb Money. That's it.
Whoa, hold on. Watch Dumb Money's good.
Okay. No, I'm
All right,
gonna watch Dumb Money. Okay.
Let's switch to another Ashley movie.
Can we do another animated movie?
No.
Get it off the list. I want to do. Okay. No. Okay.
I was gonna save that for last, but if you want to.
Oh
we
no,
can.
save it for last because
All right,
I could
all
gush.
right.
I could gush over that.
Let's
So I
switch
don't-
to. Let's talk about the Covenant.
Why wouldn't we save this for last? Why are you...
It's actually the last
This
one
is
you
a
released.
movie that we might actually all like.
Did you
Did
watch
you
the
see it?
Covenant?
I saw it.
Oh, you did.
I loved it.
I thought you didn't see it.
No, it was part of like so when I was doing Sisu, like I've been going to the library and renting movies because they have them there, and like Sisu was one, but the Guy Ritchie's The Covenant was there. I'm like, bro, I
What's
have to see
CC?
this.
Sisu.
Sisu, we talked about it earlier.
it.
Sisu.
Sisu.
Sorry. I thought you
Sorry,
said
no, it's okay.
CC.
That's okay. I might have misspoke, but that's okay. But yeah, yeah, are we going to go into the Covenant right
Let's
now?
do it.
Let's do it.
I mean, I
Okay.
really should. I didn't
Yeah.
realize all three of us saw it.
Oh no.
It's the only movie that all three of us saw. We should really leave it for last, but that's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go ahead. Let's just.
Okay. Oh, okay. First of all, let me just say I don't know if you can tell by now, but like I don't like war, and like I was really upset with what happened with Afghanistan, like that pullout. That was really messy, and like it's what that movie is about. Like, okay, I'm sure there would have been a smoother way to pull out of Afghanistan. It still might have happened, like it occurred where the buddy that saved you, like back then, like you have to go in and save him now. Like as soon as that was happening, I was thinking about, okay, like if I'm gonna write a movie about this, like it would have to be a guy going in to get his translator buddy that saved his life, like way back in the day, and he's like he wouldn't be able to do anything without getting that guy. And this was like he answered it. Like I put it out there, and he's like, "Bro, I'm already on it." Like so, it's
Guy
like,
Ritchie's like,
yeah,
I got you.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's like when
Hold
this,
my beer.
yeah,
Yeah.
when this movie happened, it was like the quickest turnaround for a dream come true. Like I put it out there, and then it happened. I'm like, okay, all right. I have to see this movie. So I'm gonna set that up. But like, you guys talk a little bit about it. Like, how did you come across it, and you liked it? Like,
This is my favorite movie of the year.
oh, okay.
Really?
I loved this movie.
What?
No shit.
I never cried during movies. I cried like a bitch more than once. And poor Dylan comes in my studio and I'm like, he saved me! And I'm just bawling. And then I was really hoping. Yeah, I loved it. I have nothing really. There was nothing I wished for that wasn't returned.
No, I agree. So Guy Ritchie directs the movie, not a Guy Ritchie movie. I mean, like,
Oh, it doesn't feel like a Guy
No,
Ritchie movie. I agree.
I thought he knocked
it's-
it out of the park,
It's not
though.
his style. I think it's very, like it's not like a Guy Ritchie style movie at all. I agree.
I loved, like, I just liked the movie. The first half I thought was great. The guy really does go to some crazy lengths to save Jake
I
Gyllenhaal.
love
Some fucking
that.
insane, like, whoa. So because earlier you talked about A Star Is Born. You're like, I couldn't get there. I didn't really understand it. I fucking get it.
I got it. I
Gyllenhaal's
would have
like-
done the same thing.
Jake Gyllenhaal's like, I can't fucking sleep.
Yeah.
I have to
There's-
fucking
yeah.
save this guy.
There's a piece of me missing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't understand. And like
he did so much for him.
And I love the
Like,
way that he was like, you're going to get the visa and you're going to figure it out. And I'm going to go get them. And there better be fucking visas. Like, just the way he says it. He's like, you have like 24 hours. And Buddy was like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
you got it. Like,
Also, does anybody watch The Boys?
No, I haven't. I haven't
watched the
any of
first
that.
few
Yeah.
seasons.
Okay, so the Homelander,
Yeah.
he plays like the guy that helps him at the end.
Yeah.
Who, like, I'm
Like
like,
the dickhead who's
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, who
why
the
do you
fuck-
always fucking ask me for these papers? I would never do this for you.
yeah.
While handing
but then,
him the
but
paper.
then he shows up at the end and he's like, if I would have fucking known.
No, it was you. I would have
would've
done it
done-
all up.
Yeah, I would have done it for free. Yeah. No.
And he's like, fuck you.
The
I've been
whole movie, I'm
asking.
like, who the fuck is this guy? And it's like, oh, it's fucking Homelander. Like, and I
Holy
just
shit,
like
like-
seeing him as something a little different. It's like, oh, it's good. He's getting work. That's
him
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
wheelbarrow, I was crying, and then
Yeah.
like him on the bridge before everything,
Oh,
I
I
was
thought he was
crying,
done. I thought they
and
were
then
done.
the
I was
whole
like,
thing
that
happened on
sucks.
the bridge, and I was crying,
Yeah.
and then like they were on the plane, and they're like calm, and I'm like, like, oh, buddy, I was such a bitch during this movie.
No.
I was so emotional.
It's fine. It's fine. Like look, that's
I
it. Like
loved it.
yeah, like war is like impossible. Like it's impossible. Like by yourself, you can't do it.
Yeah.
And like you need people, and you need people that are on their best game. And like even then, you're still maybe you're not going to get it. So it's like to me, it felt like an impossible movie. It like because I wanted to do exactly what that was like. If there was like, because I've never done war, but like
Yeah.
you want to go and like help people. This guy was capable of that, and he's the best guy for the job. You send him in to go get this guy, right? So I was like, yeah, I don't know. It was very good, very good. I like, I'm glad this one, and even what was it, the Wrath of Men?
Oh,
That just
I
came,
forgot
right?
about the
Right.
Wrath of Man.
Like,
That was a good fucking movie.
Here's the thing: I hated Aladdin, but I think the amount of money Guy Ritchie made off of Aladdin to then go on to make the Wrath of Men and like this movie, I'm sure. Like I don't know what the carryover is. I don't know what his like finance situation is like, but like following
He
that
divorced
money,
Madonna, so I'm assuming it's pretty
right,
good.
right, right, yeah. Following that, I hope there's an Aladdin 2, and then he pumps out a couple more like really sweet action movies. Stylistically, his movies or not, I don't care. Like
I
like
also love The Gentleman.
Yeah.
I know, but that's more of like a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah,
so-
that definitely is, and
Yeah.
like it just proves that he hasn't like lost that flair if he wants to whip it out or not, right? Like that's I think that's a really cool mark for him, and like this is a really good. I don't want to say notch in his belt, but this is a really good like title to like his like line of work.
Agreed.
Like that's just another like a satisfying director like movie. Like,
The
I don't
only
know.
movie I saw of his is Snatch, which I love.
Oh,
Yeah,
Snatch is
another
amazing.
yeah.
That's
Like,
the only
Oh, you
movie
saw
I
Lock,
saw
Stock?
of his.
Lock, Stock,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lock,
Lock,
Stock is like
Barrel,
early, like earlier that, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's it. It's very similar, and like I really like. Oh crap, I can't even think of it. That was my first. Rock and Roll Out was my first Guy
Oh, I
Ritchie
love
movie.
Rock and Roll Out.
And that's a crazy movie that makes like weird promises that never come true. Like at the end, like there's like he promises like a sequel to that movie. That's like did it never like materialize? I have no idea, right?
Apparently,
Like
he wrote a trilogy.
yeah.
He
Well,
wrote one with it was like Rock and Roller Returns, and the Rock and Roller Suicide is the third one.
crazy.
But the
Yeah.
third one, they go to the United States.
Oh.
But like I don't know. Apparently, he wrote a trilogy. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
I'd love
but,
to
like,
see it.
that's-
I want to
yeah.
know what the fuck.
Yeah, who knows, right? Like, and that's
Yeah.
like I don't know, but like I think Jake Gyllenhaal was a really smart choice.
I
And,
love
He's so
Jake
good.
Gyllenhaal.
he's got this like really good energy in that movie, and even I don't know if you've seen him in the new Roadhouse trailer. Like,
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I
despite-
love Roadhouse.
yeah,
I love
right.
Roadhouse. I grew up watching Roadhouse.
right,
So
that
like,
movie's so good. Like,
Love
how are
it.
they gonna? Yeah, but I feel like they're doing it like. I think with Jake Gyllenhaal, like in his like other movies where he's like really physically fit or whatever, I think he's a really hardworking actor. I can tell right now, and he's really putting out a lot. So like he was a good choice, and I like the other actor too. The guy like his counter, like
Ahmad
the translator
was
guy. Yeah,
amazing.
He was
yeah,
so good.
he was
Yeah.
really
I
good.
loved him, yeah.
I felt for him immediately. Like I believed him, and like I also believed that he was trying to do good when like those other guys were like giving him the wrong information and they were going on it or whatever. I'm like, no, that guy's lying or whatever. It's like, who do you trust? Like that stuff was really tense, really real, really.
Whenever
well
he
done.
was like,
Yeah.
he's doing you a setup, and he's like,
Yeah.
that man has been with me, since blah blah blah. And he goes,
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
make sense. And just
Yeah.
like how ballsy you have to be to
Dude,
go against your
it's like,
boss.
right, I
and your
just
boss
met
is like,
you,
I
bro.
said no,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
goes, dude, I'm telling you, you gotta fucking listen.
Yeah.
Right, and I don't know, like that's I don't know, that's real, dude. Like I'm sure there's situations like that, so that's cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I cried like a bitch. I love that
Okay,
movie.
well that's good. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's okay.
Don't
That's
be.
okay.
I never feel emotional like that, so I'm like,
Good.
I have emotions.
Speaking of emotions, let's move on. I didn't see this movie. I don't know about you. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
Yes, yeah, I
didn't
saw
see
it.
it?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
she's like, I don't even know.
Okay. Look, it's
I've only heard good things.
Okay, yeah.
I actually wanted to see it. I just, whatever reason, just never came up. It's
yeah,
one of those.
it's okay. Cole's notes. It's a slice of life movie. There's a girl just coming of age, but she's given us an assignment in class, and it's about like it's like a world religion like assignment. So she gets curious about like different religions and starts asking mom and dad some questions. But it actually rips open a huge topic that like mom is Christian, but was shunned from her mom and dad because she married a Jew. But she goes to like grandma's like Jewish temple, and she goes to other like she's pretty much just trying different religions for like her like research paper, and it's kind of like her just trying to discover like what's right for her. But the whole time she's praying to God, like in like journal entries, and like we're aware of that through like her talk. Like there's moments where she's like narrating and like to him or whatever, right? But
Okay.
eventually it rips open like a rift between the family, and family members who hadn't talked get together, and there's like a bit like of an uncomfortable like reconciliation of sorts between family, or at least there's some closure and stuff like that. But it's a simple movie. It's not that grandiose, but it's a lot about your characters and like struggling with like family and like what's right, like what's the truth, and like what religion do you believe. Like I could see why this movie doesn't get the attention maybe some other movies do, because I feel like we'll talk about sex all day and like who's really good at taking the D, but like nobody wants to talk about like belief or like God or religion as deeply. I feel like everyone's kind of like, oh no, we won't want to talk about that as much, but like we'll talk about other things. So I feel like I understand why this movie didn't get maybe some attention. Like, and it's not to say like I feel like some people were saying Rachel McAdams was shunned. I don't necessarily think she's doing anything different. She's just giving a really good performance. I think,
love
yeah,
Rachel McAdams.
yeah. I think she does amazing in everything she does, though. She's just always giving it, right? So it's like
I might be the only person who really likes True Detective season 2. I think she's amazing.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it. I feel like people are upset by the plot or whatever, but like you also have to like you look at what the actors are given versus what they're giving too, right? So I think and in this she's doing a lot, but she's also like a struggling like mom, and like that whole like you have hopes for yourself as an artist, let's say, right? She's an artist, but she's also trying to do the mom thing. So it's like I don't know, man. Like it's very much like human. Like it's a human quiet story. I don't know about like what is God and like what's the right answer. It doesn't answer the question to me, I don't think, but
which I like. Yeah. It leaves it ambiguous. It's nice.
Yeah, it's good that people are asking that question, or they make a movie about people asking that question, because I don't know. We need to believe in something. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Second last movie on the list.
Oh boy.
This is actually my favorite movie. I watched it 2 weeks ago. It bumped the Air Spider-Man duo from number
better
one.
Not say the fucking movie. I hope.
What?
Is it the Holdovers?
I loved the
Oh,
Holdovers.
this movie is so
actually,
dumb.
I watched the Holdovers.
You watched the Holdovers?
Actually,
Fuck, we should leave this for last.
No. It's fine.
You didn't save the Covenant?
Yeah.
No.
No. Whatever. Yeah. But there was a moment. Okay. Did you see Holdovers?
Yes.
Okay.
She loved it.
Yeah.
No, she
when
didn't.
when she's giving the baby booties to her sister, the cook. I forget the actress's name or whatever, but when she's got the baby booties and stuff like that. And I didn't like Paul Giamatti's explosion on the stupid kid at the beginning, but her line earlier or later in the movie just the idea that like we sent a lot of kids to Vietnam to die or whatever, right? And like her putting the booties and stuff like that, it broke me. Like, yeah. It broke me. So it's like it's still breaking me now. So I think whatever the Holdovers is doing, like, dude, it's like I thought like there's times where it's like it felt modern because like obviously it's modern, but like every once in a while those crazy zoom ins and like the fact that the cars all match like the time period and stuff like that, it's playing with like my sense of what time period it's in, and I really appreciate that. I think more movies should be made like this movie, because this movie clearly knows that there was an era of good movies and it's trying to like emulate that in like a loving way. And it worked. It really worked on me. Actually, you know what? That's something I didn't have that on my list because it's so fresh. I just watched it, but I thought it was very effective.
Agreed. I thought the kid who played the main character is his first movie.
Oh yeah,
first thing he ever did.
Oh wow.
And I thought he fucking annihilated it. Like he's so likable. I thought Paul Giamatti. I don't even really like Paul Giamatti very much. I thought he's in the running for best actor.
Oh, is he?
It's pretty much either going to be him or Cillian Murphy.
Oh,
and I kind of think he deserves it.
I hope he gets it. Between the two of them, he gives a better performance, I think. Yeah. Just from start to finish, I feel for that dude. And like as goofy looking as he is, because that's it too. Like I feel like it's one eye, like he's got a contact
or something. He has a lazy eye, maybe.
Or something like that. But dude, that long hold, like when he's lost his job or whatever at the end, and then he's like, it's this side.
Yeah.
Right here. I lost it. I was like, that's hilarious. Because I'm wondering that. Like, I'm wondering at that moment or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's also in a lot of ways, it's not it's like an over the top comedy movie. Like, there's almost a lot of comedy in the tragedy of the movie, right? And it's like
Kid breaking his shoulder, obviously funny.
Yeah, right. It is kind of, it's sad. I was like, oh my goodness, like that's like. But you're right. It's like, well, he's kind of a little idiot for doing that, anyways, too. Right?
Yeah.
But either way.
But I do like it because it's very much about three very sad people, because you kind of touched on it a little bit, coming together and finding like a family, and then ironically, ironically, his family is what tears them apart at the end.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like, I don't know. It's just, and I love the three of them. I thought they were all fucking amazing. And she's also up for Oscars for Best Supporting. She fucking deserves it. I thought they were all so fucking good.
I think she did really good. I think, and that's, I don't know. That's something when I saw the movie, I'm like, what is this thing? Like the trailers for it and stuff like that. But as soon as it went on, I'm like, oh, okay. I get what this is doing and what this is setting up, but like it's getting better as it's going, and that's actually like that's impressive to me. Like maybe that's a writing thing. I don't know. Is it nominated for writing? Like, is it?
Oh, I believe.
I'll have to check.
It'd be original, right?
Yeah.
I believe so, because I believe it's the adapted screenplay that's big this year.
Oh, okay.
I think original is pretty like, man, I think it's one of them.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I was impressed by it. I wasn't expecting it to win or touch me as deeply as it did, or whatever. So that's good.
But weirdly, it's not until right now that I'm realizing I don't really have much to talk about with it. Like, I don't know what else to say other than I really liked it. I don't know why I liked it. I loved it. Like, even just the whole idea with like, okay, there's 5 kids left, and I like the fucking jock, and he's like, no, I refuse to cut my hair. And then his dad shows up, he's like, that fucking softy, I knew he'd fucking. Yeah. But then he shows up later, and he's got his hair cut. And it's like, oh, I like just like little, I don't know.
No, it's true. It's like it was not rewarding you is maybe like a too strong of a word, but like it made sure to pay off like things it set up earlier, even if they didn't necessarily 100% matter. Mm-hmm. It's like you saw kind of conclusions, and they almost mattered as much as the characters were important, almost, if you will, right? Yeah. Like, which was I was fine with that too, or whatever. So, yeah, it was a movie I didn't expect to like as much as I did. And I'm happy because of that.
I'm in the same boat. Yeah. And no, I liked it a lot. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Good.
Ashley.
We'll give you the
What
last
did you think?
You didn't like it? Okay,
not
why
even
not?
A little bit? Come on.
You get to trash it now. You get to talk. We talked.
I do say like the 3 main characters are amazing. They really were. I loved. The cook is amazing. I love her.
Oh,
I want to hang out with her. But no, I feel like this movie was so pointless. There's nothing to it for me.
Oh,
okay.
The whole movie was just nothing.
One thing I did like about it is it almost like you could I don't know. I have no idea, but I feel like it's obvious the guy who wrote and directed it, Alexander Payne, lived it. Like, it's just me. Like, it just feels like this happened to him. It had to have. Like, it's just so specific. There are little things that are just...
I don't know if there's anything that indicates. Did he say it
I
was
have
like
no idea. I've never actually listened to it. But it's just, you just feel that. You ever just like...
Oh, maybe.
It's just like, I don't know. He must have grew up in a school like this or something. You know what I mean? Or known these characters.
I'll have to do more research into that. He must know somebody that, I don't
anyway,
know.
I liked it.
Don't know. I did too. Actually, that's maybe something to be said is like, if you write what you know, like it comes off like really true and genuine. And
definitely.
If we liked it, maybe not everybody, but if we liked it, maybe there's some truth. Don't know.
So, last movie on the list.
Finally.
Ashley's going to love it. I'm so happy I saved this for the last. I didn't mean to. It just kind of the way it happened.
Did I see it?
I don't know. Did you see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I did not.
Okay.
No, I wanted to watch it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's actually amazing. It's actually really
I chose Pricilla over it. Because I love Elvis.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
Here's what I'll say.
And I'm happy you chose Pricilla because that you were the voice for Pricilla.
Yeah,
so
it's good.
It was on my list.
Yeah, it's good. And like, it's good that we have that variety because it's like if we did have more overlap, maybe there's less variety that way.
For sure.
Thank you for taking one for the team because it sounds like
I might not taking one for
the
the team at all. I liked that movie.
Okay, good. Good.
So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I remember as soon as you watched it, you sent me a text. You're like, bro, this is the movie this year. And I was like, oh. And it was on like, I want to say I just was flipping through it. I saw it on Paramount Plus, and I was just like, okay. And then you said that, I'm like, well, I gotta watch it. And I ended up watching it, in bed. Like, my wife fell asleep at like 10 one night. I'm like, fuck it. Teenage Mutant Turtles happening right now. And here's the thing. I thought it was amazing.
Right.
I thought...
Is it like a live action? Is
No.
it cartoon?
No, it's cartoon.
It's a cartoon. But it's a really fucking good cartoon. And I thought... There's just... So, the villains I thought were great. Because it's like other mutants, right?
Because we tried this Ninja Turtles thing 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it fell, right?
No, well, like they've been doing Ninja Turtles nonstop over and over, and
I didn't know
we've
that.
we've had multiple iterations. Yes, we've had the Michael Bay Turtles. That was like the live action CGI
Yeah, that's
crossover.
the one that I know of.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And unfortunately, with those ones, the second one's like really good, but the first one I felt like wasn't the same kind. Like they were trying to go more in the second one, more like towards what like the fans wanted. I think they were.
I think I saw this.
Yeah, second one's better, but like it was too little, too late. Like the franchise was done, and I'm kind of glad. Like looking even now at the Turtles and how they look, it's aged pretty poorly. And like with this, okay, I want to talk about the animation style. When I first saw the animation style, it's not Into the Spiderverse, but you can tell that they're trying different things. It's not that. Stop. Okay, it's not that. It's not that. But like, it's different, and it might be off-putting. But I will say it complements like the lighting well, and it complements certain like explosions or like other things well. There's complements that this animation style does really well. And when I saw it, I actually saw it in 3D, and I thought it was an improvement in 3D. And a lot of movies in 3D, I don't actually like. If I'm going to a movie, I would prefer to see it in 2D. It just worked out, the timing, whatever. Saw it 3D, fine, whatever. It like I saw it again later in 2D, and I'm like, you know what? I actually liked it more in 3D because I thought they were able to play with like their art style even more, like with their squiggles and stuff like that. But like, look, it's also a good way to kind of poke fun at the material. This movie that doesn't take everything so seriously, it takes itself lighter, and these kids are teenagers. They're actual teenagers. So you're getting their angst, you're getting their need for being like to belong. Like they want to belong and they can't because they're hiding all the time. They just want to be included. They want to go to high school. All this stuff about them being lonely is something I feel is it's kind of in the other movies, but you're just waiting for them to like fight the other mutants or fight the bad guy, and they get into that.
Yeah.
This really explored their sense of wanting to belong, and I felt for them. Like I felt like their loneliness. Like as well as like whatever they were going through too, like because there's other big things.
But it
happening,
also plays into the storyline, which I think is great. So,
like, you're right. You're right.
I'm
yeah.
of the opinion that like if you're gonna write a superhero movie, the best first villain should be somebody who's like a mirror of the
like every Marvel movie.
Marvel movie. They're good at that. But this,
Venom to Spider-Man.
right? Exactly. So I think this does a very good job of that because what it's about. So it's like
Scott Pilgrim versus.
Yeah.
I forget his name. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, I got it.
The Dark Scott.
I don't remember him.
Nega Scott.
Yeah. So so it's like they're all so the Ninja Turtles are created in a lab with a bunch of other mutants, but the Ninja Turtles ended up in the sewers and they were like raised by Splinter, right? Fucking
Splinter. Yep.
I always get Splinter and Shredder fucking mixed up. Anyway.
Splinter's the
rat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they get and Splinter's whole thing is you're not allowed to go outside. They're not going to accept you. They're just not going to accept you. So, but that's all they want. They just want human interaction. And sure enough, they meet April O'Neil, who does kind of accept them, and it's like kind of nice.
Wants to know more about them. She's a journalist, right? But she's like high school, right? So it's for the school paper. It's like, it's like the stakes are like high school stakes still, but like it's like a sense of belonging, right?
Yeah.
And she brings them to the high school. They get the taste for like what they're missing out on or what they could be a part of.
But then what you find out, so then there's these other mutants that are like robbing, they're like stealing things, and then the Ninja Turtles are like, we're gonna take them down because that'll make us super likable.
Yeah.
Well, sure enough, they go to take them down, and they're the other mutants that were created by this guy, and their whole thing is, oh no, we actually tried to like mingle with human beings, and they didn't. They rejected us. They called us monsters.
Oh, so they're negative against
So
human
they're
race.
negative against the human race because they were
Well,
shunned.
Ninja Turtles coincidentally had the one that was good.
100%.
Right,
And that's
right.
what makes
Okay.
it so interesting.
So join us
Because
you can-
everybody
you
just
can
wants to be
belong.
accepted.
Yeah, right. You can
Sorry.
belong, right? No, that's it. Join us. We're everything that's good, although we're doing like bad stuff. So these teenagers are actually faced with like a huge decision. Do we belong to these villains, or do we
Because
try to
we're
stop
more
them?
like the
Right.
the mutants,
Right.
but we don't know all the humans.
Right.
Maybe they're right, kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, dude, it's like it's dealing with I think very like important topics, very pressing topics. I think for being like a teenager, even like you always be like, okay, watch this movie and be like, okay, the kids at school might be like Superfly. They might be like cool, but they might also be like up to no good. You need to avoid those kind of like.
Yeah.
I love that stuff because it's like you don't know, like when you're okay in this a mutant teenage mutant ninja turtle or whatever. You don't know where you're gonna get that acceptance from, and even amongst themselves in it, they don't all accept each other. Like Leo's kind of like the nerd amongst them or whatever. Like the dynamic between them's really good, I think, and it carries over into the other characters.
And
Also, I want to say Splinter is voiced by Jackie Chan, and I think although he's they alternate like it's an alternate like version of him like for how his origins happen. I think it's actually a really good version of Splinter, and like I think he does a really good job.
That's
love
funny.
that.
That's funny you said that because I was about to say, oh, by the way, Superfly is played by Ice Cube.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the fucking? As soon as he speaks, I'm like, is that fucking Ice Cube
Yeah.
playing the villain? He's like the leader of like the mutants, right? So fucking good in this. Like it's like, oh shit, yeah, that's the perfect person to play that role.
Yeah.
Also, there's anybody watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I did, but a long time ago.
Okay, so there's a fucking gecko in it. And he's like, surfer dude. And I'm like, this is fucking Jake Peralta. This is fucking Jake Peralta.
That's funny.
Sure enough, not Jake Peralta. It turns out to be Paul Rudd.
Rudd. Yeah,
but
Paul
I'm
Rudd.
like, it's Paul Rudd doing an Andy Samberg. Like, just get Andy Samberg. What are we
Because
doing
Paul
here?
Rudd is Friends, right?
Yeah, it's like, just get Andy Samberg. What are we doing here? Because it sounds exactly like something Jake Peralta. It sounds like some surfer dude that he would come up with. You know what I mean? I'm like, what are we doing here? But no, I thought it was a very, very, very good movie.
Yeah, and that's it. I think I'm just gushing, like I'm talking a lot about it, but like it's a well-made Ninja Turtles movie. I think it's like if you're looking at the whole franchise and just what's been released, I think this is probably top level. Like it's probably one of my favorites.
We were talking about Godzilla earlier.
Right.
That's a good Godzilla movie. This is a great Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah. Something to be said too. Like, let's say you never get around to watching all of it. Soundtrack's amazing, and I'm thinking, is it No Diggity? The montage. There's a because they're figuring out who Superfly is. They have to go through like his like henchmen. So there's this montage to No Diggity where they're just busting like different like henchmen like headquarters.
Yeah.
But the transitions through the fighting and the just like the hits and stuff like that. That scene alone is just really impressive. Like a fight montage to No Diggity. Like I didn't know I needed that in my life, and it's like it's very soothing every time I watch it. Makes me feel very happy. So that's something that's just impressive to me. I'm glad they pulled that off. I'm glad that was included.
Yeah.
That's 23 of 23.
Dude.
How do we feel?
I feel exhausted.
Yeah, Ashley, you feel very
Yeah, we're all cozy now. That's okay. I don't know. That was an impressive list because, like you said, we all brought a little bit of variety to it. Obviously, there's movies we wish we could have saw
of course
this time or whatever. But
I really wish I saw Stranger, or what's it called? Not Stranger Than Fiction.
yeah.
Fuck, what's it called? American Fiction.
American Fiction.
Fuck, I wish I saw that.
Do we have time to do honorable mentions? Like we will eventually watch American Fiction, hopefully before Sunday.
I'd love to.
I'd like to.
Will.
Yeah, and then.
If you want to throw another movie out, anything?
I didn't watch any of them.
No.
Any more than that?
Yeah, quotation, no, end quotation.
Yeah, I don't know if I've got any juice left. Oh, no, bad. Okay, phone is dead. Okay, either way, I will say honorable mentions this year, things that didn't make it in. I want to say, okay, after like Oppenheimer, like on my list of things that like after like my 23 of movies or whatever, Barbie made it And I will say,
I'm surprised. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of us.
yeah, no, like I'm kind of glad it wasn't.
It was bottom of my list
yeah,
too.
I will say,
Yeah.
I hope Ryan Gosling gets it for Ken.
I would love it.
Yeah,
Personally.
because I think what like the best part about like Barbie movie is Ken. And
He 100%
Yeah.
is the best part.
and like despite maybe people not being happy, I think if he gets it, that's just like the sweetest win for me. Because
Yeah.
like he deserves it, and if it's for that role, like that makes me so happy.
I'm gonna be honest. They did this like Oscar promo with him, and he's like in the car, and he's got In and Out. And
Oh.
it's Jimmy Kimmel and America Ferrera, and they're like, "Hey Ryan, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, there's this like thing you do where you get in and out after you win the Oscar." And they're like, "But you didn't win the Oscar." It was just, but it's like he's so fucking. He plays dumb so good.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
There's
I'm like-
actually a story with that with Lady Gaga when she went to In and Out in her limo all wasted, and she was wearing like millions of dollars worth of jewelry. And they actually like, chased her the limousine because she wasn't supposed to leave.
Yeah, jewelry back.
She was like in a drive-through all wasted, and she was wearing like $3 million necklace. So they were like, "We need that."
Don't get the sauce on it. Don't get the animal
Yeah,
sauce on it.
that's actually a
No.
true
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
I don't know if it was In and Out, but it was a fast food chain of her in a limousine just wasted.
I bet that
after
In-N-Out
winning an
burger
Oscar.
is the fucking best though. After like that, like. So yeah, Barbie's one. It's like, it was the bottom of my list. I'm surprised it's actually even nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah,
It was like
I
it was
think-
good. It was
yeah.
it was
I don't-
fine. It was just
Honestly, it's because it made so much money. It's
It
like the
did make a
Black
lot of money.
Panther. Like the Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture. Like Black Panther was
did
good.
Black Panther get nominated or was it Black Panther 2? I
No, it
Wakanda
was
Forever thing.
Black Panther. Black Panther got nominated because it made like a lot of
You're
money.
probably right. You're probably
Yeah, but it's like it got like production design and it got like I think maybe hair or something like that. Like it was in that category, but that's only because I think a lot of people had seen it. I think it's like it's the same thing. Like Barbie's in there because a lot of people saw it and paid money.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Were there any other movies that were in past lives?
We talked about
We
talked about Maestro. It
Yeah.
was fine.
Okay.
We talked about we didn't talk about Anatomy of a Fall. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see
I thought it was
yet.
all right.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually really liked Past Lives.
Okay.
It would have been the bottom of my list. It was actually between that and Poor Things. And I honestly threw Poor Things on the bottom of the list just to fuck with Ashley a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh.
Because I thought, I know how much you love that
Fucking
movie.
hate that.
But, and I wasn't pretty sure nobody else saw Past Lives. But, like,
Yeah.
it was fine. It was a good movie. It was
Yeah.
because it's a movie about this Asian woman who I believe it's Korea. I'm trying to, unfortunately, anyway, I believe it's Korea. And so she grew up in Korea, and she grew up in love with this boy. Like the two of them were like inseparable.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And,
then-
they met in a past life. Or
Yeah.
like future.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
her and
Oh,
she's an
yeah,
adult, and she's married
To like the
to
white.
this other guy who's like a
Yeah.
white guy. And sure enough, this guy comes to America to be like, "Hey, I'm just here to like." They live in New York, and she's like, "Hey, I'm here to see you." And you can just tell that these two have a connection, and they
Yeah.
speak mostly in Korean.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the white guy's like, "I don't fucking understand what you're saying."
Yeah.
But like, there's like this one moment, not to spoil anything, but there's one moment where the guy's like, I don't know, he just says like, "I'm sorry you can't," like the Korean guy's like, "I'm sorry you can't understand us," and like, "I'm sorry if you feel uncomfortable," and the guy's like, "No, like." She needs this. She needs to like talk to you to get you out of her. Like it's just like it's
Oh,
a nice
yeah.
conversation between them. I don't know, stuff like that. Like
Yeah. Which is-
it's a pretty good movie because it's like it's very much about like letting go of your past.
Yeah.
And there's only one logical conclusion to the movie, and like,
That's sad.
but it's
dude.
and it's like it's sad. It's a really sad
yeah,
ending, but it's good.
Yeah,
I
okay.
liked it a lot. I thought it was good, but it was bottom of the list, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I want to get around to it. I think there is a good roster this year. I think
Yeah.
for just what got nominated. Not that matters, like because there's also I think other movies that didn't get it that I'm kind of happy they didn't because they're more special to me. Like in some ways, like Mutant Ninja Turtles, especially Iron Claw. Love those movies. Godzilla nominated for best visual effects. It's my pick. I hope it wins. But
Saw was last year, right?
What was
Saw, the one we saw.
Saw X? I believe
Saw
that was this
10?
year. That was this year.
honorable mention.
That
Yeah.
wasn't in the past few months. That was last year. That was
Last
2023.
October, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
it was last
so,
year.
Yeah,
it was
I
last
remember
year.
that.
Okay.
I went to the movies to see that.
Oh yeah, we saw that. We saw it together.
Sweet.
It was good.
Yeah.
I heard it was
like,
good. That's it,
Ooh,
yeah.
I didn't even notice ALK art mug there. That's good. Another movie. I mean, Mission Impossible was good. It was fine. You know what? Actually, a movie that surprised me. I actually watched it kind of like whatever. Let's just throw this on. It's background noise and fucking loved it. Was Blue Beetle.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why I liked it so much. I just did.
It's okay. It's probably of the 4 DC movies that we got this year. It's actually the best one.
Very competent.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
It's kind of, here's the thing with that one. It could go either way. I kind of hope that all those people, or not all those people, but like that look of Blue Beetle, that actor, I hope they come back to whatever James Gunn's going to work on. But like, it also doesn't have. It almost like at the end. It ends kind of like an '80s movie, which I really dug too. It's like he gets the girl, flies off in the cool suit, like whatever. I loved it. And what was the best, I think, was the family dynamic, which is actually like
that's what makes it amazing.
Yeah,
that's what makes it good. So, no, I thought it was a really just good DC movie. I really like the kid. He's from Cobra Kai. I love that show.
Yeah, good.
He's so good in Cobra Kai. He's as good in this. I liked it. That's pretty much all I got to talk about.
Yeah, okay. So we can keep going.
Oh, you know what?
What
Here's the thing. There was a movie that I almost threw on my list, but I'm like, I don't know if this is 2023 or 2022. It's like it could be. It technically came out in 2022, but it's like one of those.
There's a movie on our roster that came out in 2022.
Ooh, which one?
You fucking think I remember now? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'll have to look.
There is. I'm positive there is.
Well, either way, there's a movie called Sick. I really liked.
Oh,
I didn't even bother. Once I hear anything about the fucking C word, I'm out.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
out.
like it's a movie about COVID. It's
I
very
immediately.
Oh, what?
So it's a slasher flick, but it's about like a group of people who once COVID hits, they decide to go to this like cottage to like herd immunity, whatever you call it, not herd immunity, but like they're like the bubble. They're gonna wait out the shit.
Okay.
And so they're at this like really nice place. It's like 3 of them, and in the middle of the night, just a dude shows up and starts fucking with him, and it's like it's a pretty fucking good horror movie, actually.
Oh yeah.
And like I don't know, there's just every twist.
See, that sucks. That now.
Yeah.
I wish I watched it. Once I saw, I went no.
But like, but the thing that makes it good is how stupid it makes people look.
Oh.
Like it opens with like a guy going to get groceries, and everybody's like 10 feet apart or whatever the fuck, and like there's a line and one person coughs and everybody's like, but it's like something like that. There's like a scene where like, and then he gets home and he fucking Lysols everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like I can't believe he fucking did this.
Yeah, I didn't.
And then there's a scene where at the like near the end, the girl's running from the killer, covered in fucking blood.
Oh, okay.
And there's a car coming, and she's like, "Stop, stop!" And she gets to the window, and the lady's like, "Where's your mask?" And she's like, there's a fucking somebody. She's like, "I might have an actual. Give me a second. And she's like fumbling through her purse, and the killer's like, she's like, "Fucking just let me in!" Like stuff like that. It's like it just shows how like ridiculous the whole thing was.
Amazing. I have to.
In hindsight,
I have to watch it. Yeah.
So I really liked this movie, and it was almost on my list, but I'm like, I technically it came out in 2022.
Okay.
But the thing that makes it great, honestly, the thing that like drew me to it, it's written by Kevin Williamson.
I don't know
who wrote the first Scream movie.
Oh.
He wrote the first
amazing.
Scream, and he wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer. And like,
okay.
So I'm like,
good.
A new slash movie by Kevin Williamson? What the fuck's going on here? Yeah. So that's what drew me to it.
Okay.
But so as a like horror flick, it's pretty good. As a satire, as sad as it sounds,
that's okay.
it's pretty good. Like so. Anyway, that's all I got.
Okay. I want to just add this, and like I don't want it to sound negative all the time, but for me, this past year, 2023, one of the biggest things I was looking forward to and became the biggest disappointment, and it's a DC movie, was The Flash.
Oh,
I just, for what it promised and for what it delivered, I think it was one of the biggest off the mark opportunities that I've seen in like a long time. And at this point now, it's like a train wreck. I've watched it a couple of times, and I can't believe I'm actually impressed that this movie even exists.
Yeah.
I actually really liked it. Everyone else hated it.
Yeah. I thought it was fun. I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton was great.
Yeah.
I love Michael Keaton.
I think I like Michael Keaton Batman, and I think that's like, it was crazy to see that one of the movie posters was just Batman in his Batcave. Said The Flash on it, and I don't see him anywhere on the poster, right? So it's like, Obviously, the Ezra Miller of it all, I don't want to get into, but like I get why they were maybe doing that to like shift away from him and like go to whatever is good about it. But that movie, for what it could have been, I wasn't happy with it. But I hope that this is like a good warning to just superhero movies for like a little while. Like either be good or don't exist, because like. I don't think people could handle another whatever the Flash was. Like, I think that's like a special like thing that doesn't need to keep happening. Because if it does, like we're like superhero movies are like even right now.
I think they're already
dead. Like this is it. Like we're okay for like a little while. I think we hit a saturation point. I'm fine if superhero movies that come out are only the good ones for like the next little while. They don't have to be 2 a year. They don't have to be 4 a year like we got like for like last year. But just whatever. That's okay. If you guys are listening, like Hollywood, I mean, or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's okay.
All right, cool. Anything else you want to say? That's it.
Okay. Thanks for listening.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for thank you.
Thank you for listening.
And do bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Oh, I gotta do two.
Yeah, you gotta do it too. Come on, you're one of the.
Wait.
Ready? Okay, yeah. Take two. You ready?
Bye, 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 bye.